wandering into the middle, and here comes big Barry Hall for the toss of the coin. And Doc Larkins tells us it's important. The City end has got a breeze favouring it. Quite a strong one. The Brownlow medalist, how must he be feeling? And Barry Hall, what a week he's had.
What about the young champ that gets to toss the coin? You reckon he's not having a thrill at the moment?
Yeah, look at that.
Up goes the coin. And it falls the way of the Sydney Swans. And they're kicking towards the City end with the breeze in the first term.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Hall for the Sydney Swans has won the toss.
I tell you, Sam, this, if you could find a better joint, this is an amazing place.
No, this is, and we say be great to have Victorian sides playing in it, but I tell you what, these are the best footballers by virtue of the fact they're here in the land, conglomerately or together, collectively, whatever you like to say. These are the best players going round, and this is the best game in the world, so what else could you want?
And the ground is always full regardless of who is playing. It does not matter.
That crushing huddle, Chief, what gets said in there?
Oh, you don't hear any of it anyway.
Make sure you get
Doesn't
the
matter
ball.
what said, Jay, but
Make sure you kick it the right way first up.
The forward line down here, we've got Hall, O'Keefe, O'Loughlin, Buchanan. Davis is walking to the wing, which is unusual.
He'll start there and then push forward. Goods looks like he's starting in the centre square, and Chick is starting forward for West Coast.
So a couple of the pre-game queries being answered as the players make their way out.
That's a good attacking move by John Worsfold.
It is. And we've got Hunter. I'm
going
pretty sure
to
he'll go to O'Loughlin now.
Yep.
And we've got Glass on Hall, got Wirpunda on Buchanan.
All right, Triple M stations on relay around Australia taking the number one call in the game. And here is the number one caller in the game to get you underway, Brian Taylor.
2005 grand final about to get underway. Sydney and the West Coast Eagles. Umpire Darren Goldspink is the man that's going to put the ball on the turf and make it all happen here at the MCG.
And no pushing or shoving from anyone. They're all just concentrating on getting the footy. Very unusual to see that. Usually you see a few spot fires.
Sydney to the City end. Ball is held aloft here at the MCG in front of 90-odd thousand, and Goldspink puts it into the turf. Cox in the middle with Jolly. Ball spills loose. Went hard Kerr. No one came out with the ball. And we've got a case of a scrum in the middle, and we'll do it all again.
Selwood on Goods.
Hello, now O'Loughlin and that pushing and shoving down here. Very, very Hunter.
Yep.
They are not boxing on, but not far away from it.
Another ball up in the middle of the ground. Cox and Jolly go at it again. This time it comes out. Judd got it first. Handballed off to Wirpunda. First kick of the game. Wirpunda down the throat of Hansen. Took the mark. 60 metres out from the Eagles' punt road goal. Hansen will send it in the corridor. It's in the hot spot. High ball. Getting back in numbers. Ty Kennelly, my pick for the Norm Smith medal.
Very interesting the way they've structured their backline, Sydney. Lewis Roberts-Thompson has gone to Hansen. This leaves Barry on Gardner. And the other one they're worried about is Chick. He has got Craig Bolton.
O'Keefe's got it on the wing. Goes forward to Ty Kennelly. Can't hit him. Bouncing footy. Kennelly keeps it in. And we'll give the Swans a forward 50 entry. Glass couldn't take it. Embley was very good.
And a very poor choice by Kennelly then. Should have kicked it down to O'Loughlin, who was calling for it.
Got it to Cousins on the wing. Did Embley.
So we say get it in long and quickly.
And the Brownlow medalist has it just backward of the members' wing. Short ball. And he finds Staker. And he is on the true members' wing in front of the Dr. Smooth.
So just slowing it down here, the Eagles, and just getting themselves a touch. Good decision here as Hunter has marked the ball at half-back on the northern side of the ground. Now Cousins breaks to the southern stand side. He ignores that. Dempster's trailing him and goes for the short kick right on the logo to Kerr. Runner-up on the Brownlow medal. Kerr will go short and find Banfield. He marks. Uncontested right in front of the interchange gates on the northern side.
Right?
So, yes.
I'm telling you. This... There's so many people. There's 36 people. Ball smothered. There's 36 people on the forward half of the West Coast Eagles, and same with the Swans when they come into attack. Kick the ball in quickly and no one has time to get back. This is rubbish.
If West Coast play this way, then the Swans will be back behind the ball before you know it. Another boundary thrown in front of the West Coast Eagles bench. They battle it. Cox won it down. Kerr got a piece of it through traffic. Slipped over. Slipped the handball. Fletcher. Here's Judd. He goes with another handball wide. Picked up in the end by Nikoski. Nikoski, a driving ball. It's a goal at the punt road end. Nikoski for all those punters out there. has kicked the first goal of the game. And the Eagles are one straight. Sydney yet to score. Triple M Black and Decker Bullseye 2 scoreboard.
Just came on the ground.
Great on the ground, Nikoski. What a great effort. Well picked up, Sam.
Luke told me. In the back here.
Well, that is a terrific running goal and a great start, Chief, to the Eagles.
It is, and we speak about settling down early. They've had 13 touches to Sydney's 5. Getting early touches, getting your hands on the ball early, great for the confidence.
Nikoski gives the West Coast Eagles an early lead. 1 straight 6. Sydney yet to score. Triple M Black and Decker. Bullseye 2 scoreboard. And they are milking the ad time, the 10 network, but we get the ball bounced again. Cox nice and high. In fact, no one touched it. Kirk picked it up. Into the forward half. Big Barry couldn't get his hands on it. Goods went without it. O'Keefe wraps his opponent up. Kirk goes back and gets it again. Swans in number. Matthews couldn't take it. Hall wrapped up by Glass. Got the arms free. Inside the 50 go the Sydney Swans. O'Loughlin couldn't glove it. Held when he didn't have it. Buchanan.
Now that is correct.
But O'Loughlin's got a free.
Now Hunter has fallen for the 3-card trick. He has been pushing and shoving and holding O'Loughlin, so O'Loughlin goes out to get the ball, and he was definitely held. Now he must know, Hunter, that the umpires would be right onto him. He was held, nothing much in it, but he was held off the ball, and that is a real lack of discipline by Hunter. It's okay to box on and push and shove. Don't give kicks away that do your team damage.
A 69% converted from the set shot from outside the 50. Mickey O has pulled it, got too close to the man on the mark, and that's out in the full.
Paul Roos, big job for Sean Dempster on Cousins. Showing a lot of faith. Good on him.
Might mix it up with a couple, Danny, but Dempster's got the job early on the Brownlow medalist.
We'll go through all the key matchups at the next break.
Yep.
Cox has got the ball in the back pocket for the Eagles. They lead it by a goal. Sydney have yet to score. Kick towards halfback. O'Loughlin was held again. Hunter got one in the snoz. Ball bounces loose to Goods. He gets hold of it, gives the handball off to Matthews. Matthews on centre wing, southern stand side. Had to kick it in a hurry. It was a left foot slider. Bolton was there. Jude couldn't quite get hold of it. In goes Kerr. Fletcher there as well. Look at Cousins come through. Just rip it out of the hands. Got rid of the handball. It was good play in the end. Stengline's got to go harder. O'Loughlin went harder.
Excellent.
Got it to Kirk. Around the body. Kirk to Hall. In front O'Keefe. Couldn't hold the finger tipper. Oh, put his head over the ball. Goods won it. Ran around the left foot. 52 metres out. Centering ball. Buchanan runs under it. It'll beat him over the line. It does in the forward pocket. City end. West Coast 1 goal. Sydney yet to score.
Some of those matchups. Stengline following Kirk. You got Ben Matthews on Kerr. Luke Ablett with a job on Judd. Goods and Selwood. Fletcher and Bolton running together. Dempster on Cousins.
Jolly and
Big
Cox
matchups.
comes to the front. Dangerous ball here for the West Coast Eagles, but look at the superstar Judd just extend away. 2 bounces and he's at centre half back. Poor kick. Goes to the members' wing. It's going to bounce in front of the West Coast player in Sampi out there, who was unable to take the footy cleanly. This gives the Swannies a chance through Crouch. Around the body he goes, bouncing in the Barry Hall direction. Poor bounce for him. It comes over the back and Glass is banged over the line by O'Keefe. And we'll have a boundary throw in, Doc, thanks to Kennard's hire.
Yeah, Daniel Kerr limping heavily on the left leg, JB. I think he got a bit of a cork about a minute ago. He's happy to stay out there. He's spoken to them, but just watch him. He's slowed down, playing on Ben Matthews.
The runner was with him then, asking him the question. By the way, Nikoski's first goal, it paid $41, the first goal competition. A free kick here against Cox. It'll go to Jolly. And Jolly will line up 45 metres out on about a 60-degree angle.
Sam, he just pushed him under the ball. What did you think?
I just think that is ridiculous. That is just
That is not a free kick.
ridiculous.
Jolly will line up. Goldspring says to Cox, there's the angle. Cox says, you take a look at the scoreboard,
That is ridiculous.
umpire, and have a look at the replay.
In a contact sport.
Cox was assuming Jolly was just going to hold his ground. He just took a dive.
Here he is. Jolly will line up. 45 metres out, 60-degree angle, City end, northern flank. In he comes for Sydney's first goal. Got the distance. It's beautiful. The goal umpire doesn't move. And the big boy Jolly has got Sydney's first goal apiece at the G on the Black and Decker Bullseye 2 scoreboard.
Look, in the letter of the law, it could have been there, but we're talking about a grand final. You're talking about both sides keyed up. Let's have a real physical
The thing is,
contest.
Spud,
Yes.
who was in the ruck?
Jolly
Jolly
No.
and Cox.
Cox had Jolly had run under the ball, is my point.
Well, he did.
And Cox just made sure that he kept going, but he had committed himself to run under the ball. That is a very passive free kick.
First 2 goals have come from half-back Nikoski. He's playing on Paul Williams, half-back for West Coast, and the ruckman for Sydney, so no forwards getting amongst it yet.
Goal apiece as we bounce the footy again. This time Cox wins it to the side. Judd's had plenty of it. Beautiful handball to Weirpunda. He runs to the Great Southern Stand wing and then dumps it in the Cox direction. Bouncing footy. Just slaps it forward, does Cox, but it's over the line now. We'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward. Punt road end on the Great Southern Stand side, Doc.
Daniel Kirk barely limping to the interchange bench. He's off the ground now. Sam Butler's replaced him. Physio's going to assess him. I'll get back to you.
Just a couple of matchups up in West Coast forward line. Gardner on Barry, Embley on Keneally, and Jared Crouch on the dangerous Ashley Sampy.
And a free kick again given away. This one to Cox in the ruck. Handball off to Banfield. He's got to come back. So I think it's Judd. Must have been interference off the footy.
Well,
so Judd.
He's had 4 early touches. This is his 5th, and Luke Ablett just getting a little bit worried, grabbing him by the jumper, I'd suggest.
From about 80 out, we'll just sit it up in the hot spot. High ball coming forward. Gardner had a fly at it. Big fist from the Swans defence. They just pump it out of there in the O'Keefe direction. It's a foot race. Williams involved as well. The West Coast Eagles come in number. Williams got a little toe in there. A good result. Over the line, interchange race side of the ground. We'll have a boundary throw in. 1 goal apiece on the Triple M Black and Decker scoreboard, Doc.
Yeah, Daniel Kerr in a bit of trouble with the left lower leg. He's got a knock on the outside of the shin, just with a fibula bone, about halfway between the knee and the ankle. They're just assessing him, and he's very sore, and he looks in trouble.
Well, much talked about midfield for the Eagles. One of them is gone. Kerr, as Nikoski sends this inside 50 free kick. Keneally, or is it the Swans? It'll be Roberts-Thompson, I think.
Mark Roberts-Thompson.
It is indeed. Just in the last line of defence. It is a goal apiece here at the moment. We've played 9 minutes first half, Spud.
Jolly off, ball on.
Roberts-Thompson from the back pocket at the punt road end. Sydney to the city end in the first quarter in the grand final. Short ball finds Fosdyke.
See what, as that ball came into the forward line for West Coast too, Andrew Embley completely lost it in the sun. He just couldn't see.
Defensive 50 for Fosdyke. His second possession. Will kick the ball up the line, northern wing, searching high ball, up they fly, couldn't get hold of it. Jolly comes to ground, in there working hard was Ablett, and Judd over the line, out of bounds, boundary throw in centre wing.
Just on Ablett, Paul Rose has shown a lot of faith. He was on Judd in the first qualifying final, and Judd had 20 possessions in the first half. Shown a lot of faith in him.
Set the challenge again.
Yep.
Ball and Cox. Jason Ball in his last game of footy to the back of the exchange. Unable to bring it away, Ablett. They go pounding in, but the Swans come away with the footy. Dempster gets it to Kirk. Kirk in the Hall direction, but doesn't get to him. And Green, Casey Green, takes the mark at half back and settles the ball sideways to Fletcher. Half back on the new members' side of the ground.
That is just rubbish football.
Right, picked up by Jude Bolton. Banged inside the forward 50. Swans with a chance through Buchanan. Taken to ground. Got the handball in the O'Keefe direction. He went without the footy. Green run down by Mickey O. Goods picks it up. Shovels the handball back, but only as far as Glass.
Well read.
And the West Coast almost out of trouble. Yes, they are.
Glass to Stenglein at half back. They control the ball here just. The high ball to half forward. Hanson's in front. Almost took the chest mark in the end. It comes to ground. Anyone's ball. They dive on it. Hanson has a crack from behind. Roberts-Thompson might have infringed. Umpire said no. Banfield there. Embley there. Getting dragged out of the pack was Fosdyke. The strength of Chick burst wide. Roberts-Thompson ground level got clobbered too high. He'll get a free kick against Hanson.
Well called,
Gee,
Brian.
they let a lot go. They let a lot go in there before they pulled one up. Some
Ball.
heavy tackling.
Backward of centre wing. The Swans driving ball to
Hunter and
half forward.
O'Loughlin.
Up goes Hall, punched away by Glass once again. I think the players had stopped. They thought they'd heard a whistle. No, said the umpire. Stenglein kicks the ball just in a hurry. Got hold of it. Keneally comes out. Roberts-Thompson once again. Right foot around the body on the header. Ball, and he's marked 70 from home.
Hunter and O'Loughlin have done it all day.
Got Buchanan. He's got a couple of men where Plunder was fantastic. His third, Dan Murphy, in a clutch mark at centre half back. Goes now in search of Cousins and gets him on the wing. He's had 3 of the Dan Murphys.
Why wouldn't he just kick it up the ground
Got
to a forward?
Sampy on and gets it to him.
Again.
Great Southern Stand side of the ground between wing and half forward.
Couldn't believe he got a man up there called Gardner. Why not kick it to him?
Goes there now, Sam.
Too late.
Going to be too long for Gardner. Contested mark needed for the West Coast. Leo Barry was the best at the back of that exchange, and he got it in the hands of Keneally. And now Matthews. In fact, it's Crouch.
Emergency umpire being out to O'Loughlin and Hunter. Plenty going on there. He's still there with them. No, that's the trainer. The umpire's gone back.
Down the Great Southern Stand line in search of ball. Cox with him. Footy on the ground. Jude Bolton kept it in and just handballed it into space. And it suits the West Coast because Cox can pick it up and get it to Green, and now Wirpunda.
Wirpunda just laying back on it, goes wide, looking for Fletcher. Missed the mark he should have taken in the end. He'd beaten his man over the line out of bounds.
Interesting matchup, Leo Barry on Gardner. Gardner needs to mark the ball, because when it hits the ground, Leo Barry will just run it out.
Goal apiece. We've played 13 minutes. That's Danny Frawley. We've got Jason Dunstall and Sam Newman in the Triple M box. Big day. Sun shining through now. Cloudy it was to start. Cox palmed down to Judd. Judd with his seventh. Dan
fire.
Murphy sends the ball. Gardner bound. He got manoeuvred out of the way by Barry. It came over the back of the pack. Look at the Swans numbers run behind the ball here. It comes to Crouch. Around the body. Spots up Roberts Thompson. He's taken the mark on
Started
halfback.
well, Roberts
His
Thompson.
fourth Dan Murphy stat.
Looked inboard but didn't like what he saw. So he hangs onto the prune. Now he goes sideways. And that's nicely done to Fosdyke, who's inside his own defensive 50. Punt road end.
Ball in a long lead.
Goes to Barry now. And he gets taken out of it by Wirpunda.
Free
and
kick.
a free kick because his arms were broken.
He hasn't marked strongly over the last few weeks, has he?
So the big boy.
Bolton off, Matthews on for Sydney.
Barry Hall.
It's Jude Bolton.
Sort of half-back wing members side. Swans have kicked one. West Coast have kicked one. Buchanan in front of Fletcher. True members wing.
O'Loughlin and Hunter. There's going to be either a report or someone's going to get punched in the head there shortly.
Long ball to half forward now. Look at ball come from the side. Couldn't take it. West Coast defence now through Cox.
He's playing well, Cox.
In his own defensive 50. The kick goes towards the members wing. Wirpunda picks it up. The West Coast now starting to get some momentum out here. Hanson sold a bit of candy. Kicked it to half forward. Gardner ran under the footy. He completely lost track of it.
Great tackle.
And it's picked up by Barry.
Comes to Roberts Thompson. He grabs hold of the loose ball. Here comes Sydney again. At the back of the pack, Snyder, who started the day on the bench, knocked it clear. O'Keefe kept it alive. Snyder keeps it alive.
Out.
Kept it inside.
It was out.
Boundary umpire said it was over. And it'll come back. It was setting up for something very, very nice indeed.
What's Davis done, Ash?
On the Dan Murphy stat sheet, just the one possession.
Doc Larkins, Kennard's higher.
Daniel Kerr looks like he's in a lot of trouble, Brian. He tried to run. He came back with a big grimace on the face. Just giving him some pain-killing tablets at the moment, but he looks very unhappy.
Okay.
Hunter and O'Loughlin again.
One of the midfielders out of action there for the West Coast. Goal apiece here at the MCG. We've played 15 minutes. Ball inside 50 for Sydney at the city end. Judd in the back pocket. He's doing the work. He's had 8 possessions already, Juddy. Look at him take a couple of bounces across the goal mouth. Stunning play. The kick is long. Almost found the mark in Gaspar. Dropped the mark he probably should have taken. Now Roberts Thompson bangs it back inside 50. Here's Barry. Davis. Both missed. Comes the ground. Hall. Glass. Glass. Hall.
How does Glass not get a free kick for being held there?
Out of bounds. Boundary throw in deep in the Sydney forward 50.
Quite interesting. Hanson off. Lewis Roberts Thompson, Jace, you said playing well. We'll put Gaspar onto him. Hanson off.
Another tall target.
Judd's had 6 clearances already. He is the standout player on the ground.
Very careful at these boundary throw-ins, particularly the defending ruckman, which is Cox.
One down by ball. No one in front to accept the footy. Ablett more worried about getting Judd out of it and just allowed Cousins to pick it up. His kick along the line will be a boundary throw-in.
Stingline's going to Kirk. With Judd playing well, wouldn't you put Kirk now on Judd? Ablett's obviously going okay. Well, he's not going okay because Judd's on fire. So you put Kirk on the Judd to create a 2-on-1.
Well, he's showing great faith, Paul Roos, just not being too reactive early on.
Well, let's face it, they're a goal apiece. Let's just see which way it breaks.
Cox down to Banfield. Banfield got it back to Cox, but the kick didn't go anywhere, and Goods has got it 80 out. The Brownlow medalist, low ball looking for Barry Hall. Just got the one juke up. Needed them both, Brian. And Glass gets it back to Wirpunda, but he'll get a free Glass.
I reckon he had his arm dragged off Barry, and that's what he's telling the umpire right now.
What's happened to that rule, says Barry?
That was a free kick.
I had my arm taken out in a marking contest. That's now illegal. Barry Hall on the mark. Umpire says to Glass, get on with it. You've got to play on top of the defensive goal square. Goes wide looking for Stengline. He's in front over the top. Big punch away by Ball. Advantage paid here for the Eagles as Fletcher runs away on the ball. He finds Cox.
Good
He takes a mark.
Gardner.
He almost fell over. Now he takes a bounce, the big man. 2 bounces. He's getting near 50.
Gabbo.
He hits the 50. Goes.
Are you kidding me?
Cox has nailed it. He's run 70 metres. He's kicked at 55.
And he's going up now.
And the Eagles hit the front by a goal from the big boy Cox.
What the bloody hell's going on, Brian?
He's also going off the ground after that magnificent goal.
You talk about Cox,
athleticism.
you talk about defining moments in a game. To have a ruckman that can break to the wing, pick it up, have 2 bounces, and then on the run nail it. From that is, you just don't have
I can
ruckman
remember
like
it
that.
happening twice before. Ray Gablich 100 years ago did it, and Justin Madden out at Waverley.
So it was a good interchange too, because he was
Don't
obviously
leave the
coming
box,
off.
Luke.
He'd be spent after that goal.
He's finding his way off to have a spell, then he finds himself in his face. Geez, I got to go! And didn't he go?
Oh, that was
2
a
straight,
magnificent-
12 West Coast. Sydney 1 straight. Great moment in a grand final. Kirk stuck his head over it in the centre. Can't get a handball to anyone wearing the same jumper, so they'll bounce it again. Ash, no, they won't. They're letting the footy go. Buchanan got it to the back. Leo Barry now thumps it out in the goods direction. They've got to work out who's going for the footy here, the Swans. Matthews wrapped up in the tackle. Handball back to Fosdyke. He's on the members' wing. They're going backwards, the Swans. Roberts Thompson tucks it under his wing. Then got it to Crouch. Crouch kicks it to half forward. O'Keefe has been quiet. Couldn't take the mark from the back. West Coast Eagles now through Weirpunda, who's been very good. Then he goes to Embley, who's also been nice. He has a bounce on the wing. To centre half forward. Nikoski's involved here. So is Judd. He's putting on a clinic, the superstar. Fletcher looks to Gardner. Edged under the footy.
Hold your ground.
And over the back, the Swannies have the number. And the concession comes from Jared Crouch.
And that a couple of times Michael Gardner's got to fight harder to keep position. He ran under a ball earlier on, and that one he was pushed out far too easily.
Mind you, if he gets a better kick from Fletcher, he's a big bloke in front. All it's got to do is sit up in front of him. He takes
And
the mark.
I'll tell you now, Judge won the Norm Smith medal.
Hasn't touched it yet, Michael Gardner.
Chick, Gardner and Selwood haven't touched it in this first quarter. They've been on the whole of the quarter. The ball into play finds Barry.
Chick just had a possession, just had a handball.
Okay.
Well, Judd will win it if they keep Luke Ablett on. They're going to have to make a change there.
Not according to the stats we've got at the moment, but may have put it down the wrong player. Who knows? O'Keefe, or is it Bolton? It's Craig Bolton in the back 50 has got it. Very hard, Gardner, when you're in the air to keep your feet. You've got to stay on the ground. As Buchanan on centre wing tries to win this one, kept it in play cleverly. No, he didn't bounce. The umpire said it was out near the interchange gates.
You called it, Spud. They've got to make a change now, haven't they?
Well, it's 9 to Judd, 1 to Ablett. You look at the score, you'd sense, they're only a goal down, but the momentum's all the Eagles at the moment.
He's just gone off, Luke Ablett.
2-1-13 the West Coast. Sydney
Crouch.
1 straight.
Crouch is on Judd.
20-minute mark of this first quarter. Nikoski picks the ball up out of the contested situation. Banged it inside 50. It's play on. It was tucked off the boot. Chick nearly took the mark. Ben Cousins came in, got the handball out wide. Nikoski. Nikoski opens it up. Gets it to Staker. Staker from directly in front. 50 metres out. Set sail. Missed to the left. Minor score. 20-minute mark. Eagles 2-2-14. Sydney 1 straight.
Big job for Crouch. Knee problems coming into the game, and now he's on the jet. And Judd is on fire. Test the knee out.
Under siege, the Swans just got to hang on till they can gather some composure. Got to get absolutely imperative to get Barry Hall and Michael O'Loughlin into the game, even if they got to give it to them.
8-point lead for the West Coast Eagles. 2-2 to Sydney, 1 straight. And Sydney's only goal came from a dubious free kick to Jolly. They're not getting clean footy forward.
Kirk off, Williams on.
Good running here from Bolton. It's Craig, and he has it at half back. He's had 4 possessions. Got Barry on now. Doesn't go to him. O'Keefe this is. And he needs to take a good contested mark. Couldn't do so. Doesn't matter. Swans away. Long ball in the Mickey O direction. Oh, good fist away from Hunter. And a boundary throw in inside the Swans forward 50.
This will be a very big test for Michael O'Loughlin. He doesn't like the attention. He doesn't like being niggled. And what about that?
That's got to be a free kick.
No.
O'Loughlin was down doing his shoe up, and Hunter just came and knocked him over.
But it was just a gentle bump in the side. He did it the right way. This is a huge test for Michael O'Loughlin.
Boundary throw in.
Got to keep his cool, and now he's going to get the footy.
The Swans forward 50. Ball won it down. Williams, in fact it was Jolly. Williams went and picked it up beautifully. Fosdyke gave it off to O'Keefe. Left foot high ball forward. They in number the West Coast Eagles, and Green takes the mark with his 4th.
Green.
Murphy
He has
stat.
been very good, Casey Green.
I know, I'm looking at him now, Chief. I'd never heard of him up until
8-point lead for the West Coast Eagles. Here they go through the middle. Hunter squeezed the handball wide to Cousins. 15 Murphy for Benny Cousins. Couple of bounces in there wide. Left foot kick to Chick. Couldn't quite get the jukes extended and get hold of the ball. Gasper infringing against Roberts Thompson. Roberts Thompson getting plenty of it in the back 50. Goes wide. Jude Bolton's kick was smothered. Sampy able to pick it up. Picks it up on the left boot.
Now,
round the body. Here's Gardner. Now he's in good position with the little man in front.
Free kick, he got pushed out.
Definitely a push.
And Gardner will get the free kick. Inside 50 metres out, difficult angle.
I was about to say, if he didn't make any impact of the contest, he's either pulled out or been pushed out of it, and he was pushed out of it.
He got pushed, and it was better play from Gardner because he tried to hold his ground.
Jeez.
Leo Barry assumed he was going to keep running under the ball.
That was not a free kick.
Very passive stuff.
Gardner, a little bit of left to right about this. The big fella, it's his first touch of the game. In he comes right on the blue line for 50. The kick is on the way to the punt road, and Jolly on the line touches it.
Well, he never made the distance.
And a minor score
40
in the
metres.
4.5 minutes left in the quarter, and it is one straight Sydney. West Coast 2-3-15, Black and Decker Bullseye 2 scoreboard.
Swans fans a little stunned.
Dempster off, Kirk on.
No damage done though with all the possession they've had.
That is true.
So Lewis Roberts Thompson, we thought he was going to start on the bench. He had 9 possessions in the first quarter.
Bolton somehow gets 30 metres clear on the Great Southern Stand wing. He's got O'Keefe further afield. Goes in that direction. Green with him. Fist away. Stenglein working at the base of the pack was nice. It's going to end up with Casey Green. Look inboard, young man. He does. He touches the footy on the ground and then he goes nicely to Selwood. Centre of the Triple MCG.
One out to Gardner.
High ball forward to Gardner. He's got 1-2 to beat.
Oh, that's a free kick. That is silly. Jolly.
What was Jolly doing? Just went back and pounded into Gardner.
Well, look, it's definitely a free kick, but in fairness to Jolly, I actually think he was... well, it looked as though he was trying to actually watch the flight of the ball, and then he took his eyes off the ball because he knew he was going to make contact.
The smart kick quickly down to Gardner, 1 out.
Sad thing is it would have gone over the head.
Would have.
Chief. Exactly right, Chief.
Chick off for Hansen.
Kick to a
Gardner
man who's 6'10".
He's 35 metres out on a slight angle.
Needs a good kick.
To give the West Coast their third goal. Kick on the way is a behind. It's hit the timber.
That's his problem, Michael Gardner. He can take a great mark, but he's very hit or miss with the kick.
2-4-16 West Coast. Sydney 1 straight 6. Triple M Black and Decker scoreboard.
They've gone tall, the West Coast Eagles. They've taken Chick off and Hansen on. Now they've got Gasper, Hansen and Gardner.
Yeah, and it's no good going tall spot if you don't kick down quickly to him, which they did.
That is a bad miss. 2-4. They need to be 3 or 4 goals in front with the work that they've done, West Coast, and they're not.
3:30 left in the first quarter. Roberts Thompson, how many's he had on the Dan Murphy sheet?
10th.
8 touches, BT.
Doing nicely, the big man. The just doesn't look like he can play, but he's getting the job done. And Roberts Thompson in the back half for Sydney.
Look out.
To play on, almost run down from behind by Hansen. Got the kick away out wide, looking for Seaby. Strong attempt in front by Gasper.
Oh,
And he's won himself a free kick.
bits happening off the ball. Stenglein then with Jude Bolton.
Gasper has marked the ball just forward of centre wing on the northern side of the ground. This man lucky to be playing today, some would say. His first possession. Gasper, a low ball straight down the throat of Kirk, who marks at centre half back for the Swans.
The captain Kirk with his 5th Dan Murphy goes to Goods. Bounce will not help the big boy. His composure was great. Got back on the footy and won it. And then got the handball back to Kirk. Kirk's kick partially smothered. Crouch has got a couple of beaten. He does. Bouncing footy at half forward. Crouch was sensational.
How good's that?
Absolutely
Great
brilliant.
chase.
Schneider couldn't take it. Mickey has got it back to Schneider. He is 10 metres out and closing, and he kicks a goal.
Fantastic.
The Swannies have got their second, and the commitment from Goods to win the footy on the wing was sensational. 2 straight 12. Sydney, West Coast 2-4-16, Triple M Black and Decker Bullseye 2 scoreboard.
Golden rule of football. You don't take your opportunities, you get punished at the other end. Gardner misses a set shot, a regulation. One just before that, he didn't make the distance. They get a half chance. Schneider, some great work after both Goods and Crouch had kept the ball moving forward. Kicks a running banana.
Well, it was his 50th goal, and you're spot on, Jace. Crouch was just absolutely sensational there. He had 3 or 4 players bearing down on him, just put his body on the line and hit it forward.
A goal for goal quarter, Sam Newman.
That's right, Brian, and that won't appear on Dan's stat sheet. What
Mickey O.
No.
Goods.
What Crouch did just fantastic.
Yep, beautiful it was.
How am I going with the names at the minute?
All travelling beautifully here today in
Come
this
good, I'll come good.
Triple
I'm
M
getting into
box.
it.
Got
Andrew
about,
Emberley, and now finds himself in defence on Nick Davis.
got about a minute to go in this first quarter here.
Don't take a breath, Brian.
Out of the ball we go. Ball got a piece of it. Tackled was Crouch. Put to ground. Play on. Seaby's all over it. He had the ball pinned. We'll ball it up. 2 minutes to go. In fact, 27-minute mark it is. Scoreboard 2 straight Sydney. West Coast 2-4-16. Ash, Dan Murphy's.
Well, the West Coast Eagles have had double the amount of clearances, 10-5, but the Swans have had double the amount of hard ball gets, 12-6.
Ball up right on the edge of the centre square, slightly favouring the end of which Sydney are kicking. The City end in this first quarter. Overcast conditions again. Bit of sun a moment ago. Up they go. Embley got a bit of a knock on it. Kirk's there. Tries to sock it off the ground.
Oh,
Did it well. Got it through traffic. Buchanan.
Oh!
That's the boy.
Coat hanger.
Oh, Barry!
Now we're up and running.
Oh, boy.
That's the way.
Raining blows. Look at this. It's an hard-boiled glass is involved.
Oh, now Hunter and
Buchanan
O'Loughlin get in.
involved. Just good stuff as they pound on. Barry getting in there as well. The umpires out there.
What about the coat hanger, though?
Just beautiful.
And great if we're a punter to get straight up and just attack Barry Hall.
Boundary throw in. Members wing. Fletcher. Got it off to Embley. To centre half forward, and Hanson's there.
Got Chick in space.
55 out. Got Chick on. Missed him. Got Gardner on. Missed him too.
Still got Chick on.
Still got Chick on. Goes to him now. It's going to
that's
carry
shocking,
goods. And Chick can't take the mark, but he stands up, gets around a couple, and misses. Kicks it out in the full.
How long was he on his own? Cheap.
And how long did Hanson miss him for? Boy.
Well,
Oh, look at the blood on Jason Ball's
Bloody
face.
hell.
So ball will have to come off, and in fact the players are pointing to that now. And we've got a blood rule. Doc Larkins, I don't know whether you've had a chance to have a look at the face of Ball, but he's coming straight towards
all
you.
over the right jumper too, the Sydney jumper, but all over the right side of his forehead, streaming down over his right to his chin. So a big split, and just like Kirk last week, we remember from Sydney. So he'll be off. There'll be a bit of an interruption, and now Jolly replaces him.
Blood is flowing very freely from the scone of Jason Ball with a minute and a quarter remaining in the first quarter. It's been a dynamic opening. It is West Coast by just 4 points. They've had most of the play in this first quarter, and Sydney have hung in. And now Craig Bolton from the back pocket has got to put the ball back into play. Deep in the Eagles forward line. Bolton kicks out wide looking for Jolly. Over his head. Nice mark at the back. Beautifully done
Green
by
again.
that man, Casey Green. Sends the ball sideways into the middle of the ground, and Fletcher takes the mark. Gardner offers the lead. Fletcher from the centre circle. The kick now to Gardner. Might have got one in the back. Umpire said no
surely.
play on. In they go. Stolen by Buchanan. Sydney are away. Matthews will send it down towards O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin diving mark. Thought about the handball backwards. Went back inside. No, he's not sure what to do. Now he just kicks a high ball. Snyder's there. Barry's there. Snyder's there. Barry's there. Neither could get hold of it. Income work Bunda in the end. Knocked it to Crouch. Snap over the shoulder was smothered. Barry Hall.
Oh, no.
In the back, Barry Hall.
That's a soft
And he
kick.
gets up to Staker and says, "You soft kick." And he'll line up 20 metres out directly in front, Barry Hall.
He got caught cold and he fell forward, Barry Hall. I reckon
He
that's
did.
a very lucky free
I
kick.
do too, mate.
24 seconds left in the quarter, and guess what? West Coast have had all of the play, and Sydney will hit the front.
He was tackled correctly and dropped the ball, and then fell forward and actually pulled the man who was tackling him down on top of him. You just got to let that go in a grand final. Let it go.
It's a gift for Barry.
Blank range. Barry to put the Swans in front, nearing quarter time. 14 seconds. Barry comes in and goes bang. It's there. Sydney have kicked 2 in a row. They've hit the front late in the first quarter by 2 points.
I won't believe their luck. Danny?
Well, just to ask the question, Sydney were robbed by the umpires in the first final. They've had 2 very soft free
Very
kicks
soft.
in
I mean,
front of goal.
The
this
chief
quarter.
is correct there. I mean, he was fallen on top of, but he actually pulled the man down because he was pinged to start with.
He went to
He
his
never got
knees
rid of the
first
ball.
and then fell forward.
And it was very, very soft.
Look at the bonce on Big Barry, Brian, on the big scoreboard.
Very angry.
Just a frightening
Man.
looking unit.
Tell you what, Adam Selwood's got his hands full with Adam Goods too. Goods getting plenty of it, 7 touches. Just 1 for Selwood after doing a great job on Brett Burton last week. He's got to tighten up, Selwood.
Swans by 2 points. Bounce back in the centre. Dying seconds of this first term. West Coast can run onto this through Cousins. He is about 45, 50 out. Socks the footy around, but the siren sounds to end a big-time first quarter of the Triple MCG Grand Final. Sydney 3 straight 18. West Coast 2-4-16. Hall, Jolly and Schneider got the goal kicking done for the Swans. Nikoski and Cox were the goal kickers for the West Coast Eagles. It's the Swans by 2 points. Sam Newman, Brian Taylor, Denny Frawley and Jason Dunstall when we come back, as well as the Dr. Smooth with an injury update. Swans by 2 points. It's quarter time of the grand final at the MCG. Thanks to Vodafone's $79 Super Cap Triple M. Rocks football.
Return on the scoreboard, they'll find it a tough struggle today.
Kennard's higher, Doc Larkin, some big news.
Yeah, well, John Warswell went straight to Daniel Kerr, and guess what? He's starting in the middle. They're going to find out whether he can play out this game with that leg injury he's got. He didn't look good to me, Brian, but they put him on. They're going to give him a run.
Start of the second quarter. It's Sydney by 2 points. Quickly, your thoughts?
Clearly the best side on the ground at the minute is the West Coast Eagles, and 2 charity goals to the Swans. They got to get it quickly down to Gardner and Long.
7-man defence for Sydney.
In the middle, the palm down to Judd was terrific. Judd out of the middle. Long ball tick. Jukie's couple of juggles, couldn't get it. Cousins, the look away handball to Sampi. The snap around the body looks good offline. In the last few moments, it bounced over the line. In fact, and out of bounds on the full.
Right.
So, Sydney, free kick.
Judd has had 12 possessions and 7 clearances already.
Stop the Norm Smith betting right now.
Done.
He's got his second opponent already in Jared Crouch, as Spud mentioned. But I'll tell you what, when he's in this sort of form, it doesn't matter who you play on him.
Got the thing clocked as Barry goes high down the Great Southern Stand wing. Goods did well.
They made a change there too. They've got Staker on Goods now. Selwood started on him.
He touched up Selwood.
His way to the front and took a very nice out front Jukish mark, Brian. Now it goes to Barry Hall. Takes it in the guts. And he's on the wing. Gets a bit of a booing reception.
Second touch, Davis.
Nick Davis.
They're very happy just to hold it up, hold on to it and just hit the lead up target.
O'Keefe now goes with the one. Juki had the arms broken. Casey Green couldn't take the footy. Davis goes back and gets it again, keeps it in nicely. Squares the handball to Kirk is good. To Schneider is better. Schneider got it inching forward to Barry Hall. Gives a bit of a don't argue and gives it back to Schneider. 35 out and closing. Left foot kick ordinary.
That's a shocking.
Should have done a lot better, the Schneider man. And he has put the first imperfection on the board for the Swannies. 3-1-19. West Coast 2-4-16.
I tell you who also should have done a lot better, and that was Darren Glass with the attempted tackle on Barry Hall. Brushed him aside way too easily.
Kerr playing in the forward pocket on Canelli at the moment with that injury doubt, so we'll keep an eye on him, or the Doc will. Banfield has got the ball in the back pocket for West Coast.
Well, they've got 7 in defence, Sydney, and West Coast have reacted by playing a 7th forward. They're not going to allow loose men to run around the ground.
Well,
Sydney
loves that.
by 3 points. That was Danny Frawley and Jason Dunstall. And O'Keefe has taken the mark.
Kirk
plays on, finds that man at centre half forward, Kirk, just inside the centre square. His 9th Dan Murphy, Kirk. He wants someone to lead at him. Here goes O'Loughlin in the pocket. He goes down the middle, looking for Davis. Couldn't get him. Off hands. Comes to Snyder. Handball to Buchanan. Breaks the tackle. Right foot snap was not good. Out of bounds on the full.
Starting to excite and ignite, Brian, the Swans. Just got a bit of a glimpse about him.
They have.
Big Cox has got it. Thought about going, but he was outside the field to play, and now he goes back to take his kick.
They've had a win. Dempster plays on Cousins. He went off at the 18-minute mark. Fosdyke went on to Cousins and had 8 possessions.
Beautiful kick from Cox to Hunter. At half-back, Great Southern Stand side. Hanson hits up. Doesn't go in that direction. Holding on to the ball a long time, Hunter. Now the high one. Swans here in number. Roberts Thompson in front, couldn't take it. Williams hasn't had a big impact on proceedings. Goes to ground. And there's a disputed ball bounce up situation. 1 sec. Ash Tuman, we're going to Doc.
Yeah, JB, the last man you want to be on if you can't run is Ty Canelli. The Sydney runners just been out to him and said Daniel Kerr can't run. You've got to try and exploit that. So they already know that Kerr can't travel as well as he normally does.
Dan Murphy stats, Paul Williams, only 2 disposals. He's virtually played the entire game.
Ball wins it. In fact, it was Jolly wins it down. Crouch at the back and Goods. Actually spoiled each other for the footy in the end, but Crouch did really well. Hands of Jolly weren't as good as they should have been. Crouch went back for a third time to get it, but Cousins brought it away. Handball back to Wirpunda, who's in a heap of strife. Mickey O went to ground. Footy on the Great Southern Stand wing. Wirpunda goes in search of Cox. Couldn't take the footy. Fletcher got it to Staker. Now to Stengline. Gets it forward in the check direction. Great fist away from Craig Bolton. And the footy's over the line. 60 out from the City end goal. Eagles heading in that direction. And they trail by 3 points.
JB, Daniel Chick having a go at the umpire, saying he was being held by Craig Bolton. He's wearing him like a glove, not giving him 1 inch.
Boundary throw in, 60 metres around from the West Coast City end goal. Cousins put his head over the ball, won it, slid the handball out the back to Fletcher. Fletcher to Embley. Embley the standing start, the left footer into the zone. Up goes Gardner. Barry was good, knocked to ground. Buchanan missed it. Gardner got it, wants to do it himself. The big giraffe kicked it and then fell over. High ball has been marked in the end by O'Keefe. O'Keefe to Williams. And Sydney have got plenty of room here.
He can go, Williams. He can go all the way. Has 2 bounces. Can have 5 if he wants. Instead, he hits Barry. Oh, no, he was off Barry. So now he just sucks the Sharon in. He's too far out to score. Squares it to Crouch. Crouch gets around Embley. No, he doesn't. The handball to Schneider. Buchanan it is. He goes to ground. And the Eagles come cracking in through Nikoski. And he gets it to Judd. The superstar can bounce the thing the whole way down. Instead, he goes with a low ball. Chick bounced in front of him and over the line for a boundary throw in deep in the Eagles forward 50.
How good is Judd?
Unbelievable. Just on Craig Bolton, he's versatile, isn't he? Because he's on Chick. Last week did a great job on Rewalt.
Yep. Boundary throw in deep West Coast territory. They trail by 3 points.
Maybe they're ignoring Gardner on purpose because he can't kick, but I tell you what, they're not looking for him. And the main man, Judd, didn't then.
5 minutes into the second quarter. Tapped down by Gardner to Judd. Judd again. This way, that way. From the boundary line. Sends it to the top of the square with a low buzzer ball.
Come on, Mick.
And Jolly marks. He'll immediately play on from the defensive goal square. Goes out wide and sees Roberts Thompson. He marks defensive 50. His 10th. There, Murphy already. Roberts Thompson getting darker here by the moment. As Robert Thompson from half back kicks a long ball on the head of Goods. He was being held. Staker was as well.
Yeah, good
and
decision.
A free kick, Staker.
Good decision.
Against Goods. Why was it a good decision?
Well, Goods didn't have his eyes on the ball. He just wrapped his arms around Staker and then put his own out, saying that he was the one being held, but the umpire didn't fall for it.
Staker on the Great Southern Stand wing. Goes to half forward with a long ball. Gardner and Barry. Barry with a double fister. Chick picks it up. 60 out. Wheels around. High ball forward. Kerr being held. Judd has
he hasn't paid it.
He never marked that ball.
No, he said it was touched. The umpire said it was touched.
And he never marked it anyhow.
A behind to the West Coast Eagles.
Didn't he?
No, well, you watch this. 1, 2, 3. Never marked it.
Good decision.
He's still fighting with it.
Kirk gets it off to Kennelly.
He had 7 fumbles of it.
Kennelly gets it off to Kirk. Swans with some time now in their back half.
Kirk, handball over the top to Barry. Barry's got a bit of space. Okay, Bolton hurt behind play. Doc will keep an eye on that. He's crouched over at the moment, but he's on his feet. O'Keefe kept it alive, got it to Buchanan. Went the high tackle on Buchanan. He ducked it, was able to get the ball into the midfield. Here's this. Look at the one hand pick up. It was beautiful by Jolly. Jolly goes with a long ball inside 50. Here they go. Mark in front. Glass was sensational. Fed it out the back door to Banfield, and here's Staker.
Got lots of room to move. We'll go to Gardner. The kick was ordinary.
You got to hit him.
The big boy's got to get it on the bounce. He's got Goods to beat. Handball's back to Cousins. Cousins on the wing. Squares it up to Embley. West Coast with some room here. Embley to Hanson. Just inside the 50.
Does have the breeze.
And the man with the moon tan is about 50 out, slight angle, and we got a blood rule.
There's David Hasselhoff off Baywatch here. He's cranking on people.
1 goal from 5 outings in Melbourne this year for Ashley Hanson. Let's go to the Dr. Smooth.
Yeah, Craig Bolton making his way to the bench. Got a crack in the nose, probably got a broken nose out of it. Blood streaming down over the top of his lips and mouth.
Yeah.
Umpires picked him up. So
just saw the replay, Doc.
Yeah.
Just got a nice hip and shoulder.
Nice hip and shoulder, and Luke Ablett will replace him. So while they won't have a shot on goal until the replacement gets out there, and won't take long. Craig Bolton will be back. He's playing well.
Lovely shepherd by Sampi as well.
All right, the players are in the right position. So Hanson kicking with the aid of a breeze.
Tell us a bit about it too, because he left a kick from 55.
To kick the West Coast first in a while. Drop punt on the way low and pulled to the left. And through behind. They are now 2-6-18 West Coast. Sydney 3-1-19. Triple M Toyota scoreboard.
5 goals collectively. What's going to be a winning goal tally in this game?
12, 14 goals. I'll tell you right now, they're 13th in the competition in accuracy, West Coast. And if they keep this up, they'll kick themselves out of the grand final.
Well, that's right. They've had 8 shots to the other mobs 4.
They are 2 goals, 6-18. Sydney are 3-1-19. It's as simple as that. Kicking, good kicking by Sydney has them in front at the moment by a point. Goods has had 9 times touching the leather on the Dan Murphy sheet. Adam Goods will send it up towards Barry on the southern stand centre wing. Standing in front though was O'Keefe. Nice shepherd from Barry to allow him to take the mark. And O'Keefe just forward of the centre wing on the true southern stand wing. Shorts it and finds Barry by foot. Barry takes the mark about 85 metres out from the Swans punt road goal. Another little chip over the top to Buchanan, who's getting plenty of it as well. He's had 9. He goes inboard.
Mickey O!
Mickey O on the lead. We'll line up 45-degree angle, 35 metres.
Well, that's great play. That's the way Sydney play. They can play up tempo, control tempo. They were just patient. They honoured the lead. You had Goods, O'Keefe, Hall and O'Loughlin getting on the end of it.
Sydney's first mark inside 50 today was that one by O'Loughlin, and boy, didn't he do Hunter on the lead for speed. And Mickey O will line it up, punt road, southern stand side from about 35. Little bit of breeze left to right, we believe. Kick is coming in now, O'Loughlin. Big West Coast contingent at that end of the ground. He stabbed at it. He didn't get
Got it.
Somehow it's bent the other way and he's nailed it. Mickey O has kicked the Swans 3rd in a row. Significant. 4-1-25. West Coast 2-6-18. 10-minute mark. Triple M Toyota
Shot
scoreboard.
the big screen of Michael Willisey there. He was here, I remember the last time they were here. 96 was it?
Yep.
Had a bet of $30,000 with a friend of mine.
You said BT was beaten for speed, but Buchanan's kick was absolutely perfect.
That's the difference between the two teams. Just a little bit of class in foot skills up forward. They're making the most of their opportunities. West Coast not.
Cox off, CV on, into the ruck.
They'll be very bemused up in the West Coast Eagles box, John Worsfold. They're the better side at the minute, but they ain't on the scoreboard.
Judd resting in a forward pocket as we speak, just at the top of the goal square with Michael Gardner.
They have a lead of 7 points. The Sydney Swans 4-1-25 to West Coast 2-6-18. Out of the centre, Fletcher's handball missed its target. And we've got a disputed ball. We'll have another bounce.
Tell you what, I don't mind the setup now. You've got Gardner in the goal square. You've got Judd at his feet. You've also got Daniel Kerr at his feet. You like their chances of getting a crumbing goal.
Still in the centre. Bounced footy. Jolly sort of half got a hand in there. Taken to ground, Embley. No free kick. Picked up by Stenglein. Ragdoll to ground. Footy inside the forward 50 now for the Swans. Barry takes a couple out with a big banging bump. Here's Kirk. Handball over the top. Fosdyke. 60 out from goal. Lots of room. Slips it in the Mickey O direction where Punda went back with courage and took a terrific defensive mark.
Where Punda plays on immediately, gets it to Seavey on the top of the defensive goal square. He's got the runner Fletcher with him. The big fella says, no, I'll do this one. He walks straight up the corridor. On the left boot, risky kick. Sampy. Bevan was there, but Sampy took a lovely mark in front. Right on the centre wing in the corridor. Sampy with a low ball, looking for Chick on the lead. Goes down on all fours, couldn't win it. Kerr was there, driven into the ground. Free kick, Kerr.
Played it well, Daniel Kerr. He knew he was going to get tackled, so he didn't take possession of the footy.
Centre half forward, 60 metres out.
Open
it is a 7-point margin, Sydney. We've played 12 minutes in the second quarter. Kerr a driving ball. Here's Gardner. Roberts Thompson back. Spills to Hanson. Snapshot was smothered. Spills loose to Kerr in the pocket. He takes his time and will get it around the body and find ball.
The big former West Coast Eagle as the prune, and he goes with a nice low ball, and that suits O'Keefe at half back.
Doesn't he cover some ground, Ryan O'Keefe?
He'll go across the ground to Roberts Thompson.
You're not watching Michael Gardner's got his back to play.
Half asleep he was, Gardner.
Dempster, the longer target. He'll get it now from Williams. The Sydney Swans can open it up round this side of the ground. Dempster got one to beat and does it. Can have a bounce.
All the way.
Has got Kennelly over the top. Hits him now. Kennelly in the pocket. Will go back and kick the footy.
Well, Cousins want that again. He had to corral Dempster to the boundary line. Shouldn't let him pass, just corral him to the boundary line, force him wide.
This is a talented man, Ty Kennelly, and he has got a tough shot on goal here. 35 out, but tucked hard in the pocket, punt road end.
Brett Kirk doing some good work in the Sydney Swans midfield. He's had 6 touches this quarter, making sure they get a share of possession.
Just got a bit of a look about him, the Swannies.
Yep.
Don't know what it is, but they've got a look about him. Kennelly with the set shot to the punt road end. 1 goal this year, so he doesn't spend much time in the forward half. Let's see how he goes. Kick on the way. Kick on the way. Kick on the way is there. Kennelly has kicked the Swans' 5th goal and their 4th in a row. 5-1-31. West Coast 2-6-18. Triple M Toyota scoreboard.
It simply gets down to this, Spud, and the Chief. Michael Gardner, who's built like Tarzan, has got to play like him. He's playing like Jane. He's getting bumped out, pushed out, go for the ball, grab a couple. As the Chief said, he's got some of the best on ballers underneath his feet. Get it down there quickly to him.
Well, not only that, he caused that goal. He was half asleep when Sydney ran the ball out. Had to put some pressure on.
13-point lead, Sydney's way. 72 years they've waited, and you get the feeling that's just going to be very, very much going their way here at the moment.
Just had a shot on the telly, a pub in Dublin, Ireland, where Keneally's family were celebrating the goal.
Up goes ball in the middle, knocks it down. Seavey got it out of the middle, just high ball, 1 not short, travel the required journey. Umpire says play on, no one marked it anyway. Knocked to ground, here goes Williams, tries to run onto it. Davis did well, brushed the tackle. Davis to Gourds, Gourds O'Loughlin in! O'Loughlin with the juggler on the lead has taken a mark, turning out directly in front, Mickey O.
Tell you what, it's getting serious for the Eagles. It ain't over, of course, but it's getting serious for the Eagles because they can't score goals. They can get the thing down there, but they can't kick them. And we said this, or most of you said it all along.
It's all the 50-50 balls. They're winning all the contested balls. The 50-50 balls, Sydney are just coming out.
To make it 5 in a row and a 19-point lead at the 15-minute mark of the second. Mickey O is strong from this position. 29 goals, 7 from the corridor this year. And here he is lining up for his 2nd goal of the quarter to extend the margin to 19 points. Directly in front, 35 minutes out. He stabs at it and sends it off to the left. Gee, he's had 2 bad ones. One was a goal, but that was a shocker. Offline minor score. So Sydney, 5-2-32. West Coast, 2-6-18 Toyota scoreboard.
Led off for West Coast, but if they don't get the next goal, they're going to find this game slipping away very quickly. Too many opportunities have just gone wasted.
Sydney have made 5 interchanges in the last 2.5 minutes, rotating through the bench.
Michael Gardner, no marks.
This is Staker with the footy, 20 out from the Sydney goal. Goes in the Fletcher direction, 50-50 ball. Fletcher needs to win it, and he does, but then he went without.
Took his eyes off it.
Got a bit too smart for his own good. Matthews squares the footy. The Swans will go inside through Crouch. Long ball to Big Barry Hall. Fisted away, Mickey O at ground level. Couldn't pick it up. Good's good. And goals. Oh, have a listen to the Swans. Red and white people just going nuts. 6-2-38. The Goods goal kicks them out to a 20-point lead. West Coast 2-6-18. Triple M Toyota scoreboard.
It's just their forward line. Too many options. They're getting the ball in there long and strong. You've got Hall contested that ball. O'Loughlin at ground level. And of course, Goods has pushed forward. Chad Fletcher. Look, he did take his eyes off the ball. He didn't want to see that one again. Just a little bit blasé in the wing. But Sydney's forward line, they're on fire at the moment.
Dan Murphy stats. The last 8 minutes disposals, 23-7 in favour of Sydney. And the inside 50s are also 5-1 in favour of the Swans.
Gardner obviously can't play in the ruck if they just keep it in the square.
He can't play in the ruck, right? He's
posterior cruciate, right?
And I've seen angry men who have coached before, but John Worsfold is as angry as 12 men. He has got those steely eyes. He's a couple of expletives, your chicken mouth. He is ropeable.
18-minute mark of the second quarter. Sydney by a whopping 20 points in the context of this low-scoring game. Comes to Goods. Goods the double-handed tap down. O'Keefe kept it alive. Buchanan runs onto the ball, looking for Goods with a handball. Embley kept it alive. Got it to Cousins in the back pocket. Cousins under enormous pressure at the punt road end. Just kicks it out of the danger zone. Looking there for Fletcher in front of his man Matthews. It comes to ground. Fletcher of the West Coast had another go at it. Spun the ball out. It was intercepted by Roberts Thompson. He bangs it ball back towards Goods. Goods couldn't mark the ball. Front and centre was Big Bad busting Baz. Baz, little right foot kick to Bolton. Jude Bolton is marked strongly in amongst two Eagles and will line up to make it the 6th consecutive goal for Sydney.
Well, that's the difference. Barry Hall, under pressure, threaded the needle. You got to actually see that kick to know how hard it was. The pressure was bearing down on both his kicking leg, and he had to just hit that pinpoint to Jude Bolton and hit him on the tit.
Jude Bolton will line up for the 6th consecutive goal. Of course, Delta sung here earlier. She had a bit to do with Jude early on, but
after hours style.
Delta has
right?
Oh my word, she used to say, hey Jude.
Well, he's got to get the Norm Smith medal then, surely.
Other bits going on at the moment. As Bolton lines up, this to make it 6 in a row on a 26-point margin. Bolton comes in.
No.
The kick is a shocker off to the right. Nearly out of bounds on the full.
That's the only thing in 100 years that's never improved.
6-3-39. West Coast 2-6-18. I agree with that, Sam, on the Toyota scoreboard.
Doc Larkins, thanks to Canal Tyre.
Yeah, Bolton got injured in that contest, the left leg, and they probably couldn't kick too well. The doctor's with him. We'll watch and see what happens.
Banfield to bring it in. Kicks to himself now. And drops the footy. Got to pick it up again and just dump it long. Staker now and Crouch. At the back, Selwood. At the front, Fletcher. In the end, it's Judd who takes it away beautifully to Selwood, who had a fumble. Gets a handball now to Staker. Staker, the long ball forward. Mark needed from Gardner. Ragdolled, footy at the ground. Seaby picked it up. He was taken to ground without the footy. Leo Barry went to ground. Coming back in now is Judd. Got a handball out of there eventually. Claimed, taken to ground, disputed ball. Great defensive work here from the Swans. Almost picked up by Gardner. Leo Barry involved as well. That's wonderful defensive pressure from Sydney, and we'll have a bounce.
You're spot on, JB. That's why they're rated number 1 in tackles. That was just absolute pressure football.
Blood rule here on Gardner. He'll have to come from the ground. This may be actually a blessing here for West Coast. Get the big fella out of the area for a while and go with a different setup. So we'll wait.
Put Judd down there, BT.
Going brilliantly today, Judd in the midfield. And just give him room, Danny. One out.
Well, I just put him down there, try something different, throw everyone else up the ground.
They've got 3 players going off. Staker's going off, Butler's going off, and Gardner. You've got Hanson coming on, Punda coming on, and Embley coming on.
What's happening over there, Doc?
Yeah, it won't be too long, Michael Gardner. Looks like a little split under the right eye, just in that fleshy little bit over the cheekbone. So they'll fix him up quickly, but they've just reshuffled with Hanson going on, Wirrapunda going on, and Andrew Embley back on.
21-point lead to Sydney. We've played 21 minutes in this second quarter. Ball up. West Coast goal square. Up goes Leo Barry, knocked it down. And to the boundary line it goes.
Dean Cox had his head pushed off then, and no free kick.
It was a karate chop in the throat.
The arm from Ball caught him very high.
36 minutes since the last West Coast Eagles goal. It has dried up. We're at the City end. Cox won it down to Fletcher, again fumbled the footy. Williams to Crouch. Crouch out in the full. Good pressure from Cousins.
Well, they've got a little bit of the play at the moment, the Eagles, but as has been the problem from day one, from the start of the match, they've got to get results.
Selwood, high to about 30 out. They'll come from all directions. Fist away. Fletcher's got to focus on the footy here. Davis got to do the same thing. Kerr picks it up, spins out of there, but he's claimed. Banfield smacked into hard by Jude Bolton.
Very slow getting up.
Before this game, everyone was talking about the lack of forwards for West Coast and could they kick a score. Boy, is that proving right now.
Spot on, but Daniel Kerr is very, very sore.
He's going to come off now. He's going to come off, Kerr. He's had enough. Ball up, attacking 50 for the Eagles. Cox does the ruck work, knocks it down, keeping it alive there, Selwood. Williams runs onto the ball, avoids the tackle, gives the handball away to Bevan. Bevan slices one to the wing, finds Fosdyke. He marks. Can go short to Mickey O.
Got to hold it up because everyone was further afield. They've got to wait for them to get back into position.
And now Barry comes at him, and that's where he goes with a beautifully placed kick, and Barry takes the mark.
They're playing the game on their terms at the moment, the Swans.
Yep.
Half forward they are. It's a 21-point Sydney lead at the moment, and we're just about done here in the first half. We've played 23 minutes.
Just 3 touches for Kerr as he limps off, and Sampy replaces him.
4:40 remaining in the first half of footy, and Sydney Swans, they have one hand on the cup, something they haven't done for 72 years. Short ball.
Well, if they kick the next, they can nearly start engraving.
Finds Buchanan 70 metres out.
Buchanan sees Barry Hall and goes in that direction. Barry takes it. Wirrapunda came back on him, but he's got it 60 out, the big boy.
I just reckon West Coast defence are too happy to concede that hit-up lead if it's outside 50.
It's got to be hip on hip.
Gets it to Fosdyke. Still outside the 50. He's got ball on a lead. Goes in that direction. Good footy from Glass to make a contest. Banfield claimed. Hasn't got the footy. Play on. Now there'll be a bounce. 40 out from the punt road end goal. Swans heading in that direction. 6-3-39. West Coast 2-6-18. Triple M Toyota scoreboard.
Now, the last grand final the Swans played in, I think they led by 6 goals at this stage of the game and lost to the Kangaroos.
They have kicked 5 straight and they lead it by 21. West Coast out of defence. Handball from Banfield to Cox. Cox went back to the handball to Werpunda. Unorthodox looking kick, but effective. Found Hansen just backward of the centre wing. Hansen on the southern stand side as the Eagles attack to the city end. Chipping kick to Cox over the top, takes a safe mark. Got it at half forward now, West Coast. Stop-start footy though. A low ball looking for Seaby on the lead. Got in the way, Leo Barry. Handball out wide. Here's Gasper. What can he do? Put his head over it. Seaby there. Stop Chick from getting the ball. Chick eventually won it. In comes Canali. Canali held up there by Seaby and a ball up 35 to 40 metres out of the West Coast goalmouth.
Eagles normally go at 80% with their kicking. The Swans pressure, they're now going at 71%. The Swans are all over it.
Tackling from Sydney has been sensational. Bounce of the footy, 40 out from the West Coast Eagles city end goal.
Closing it up, Sydney. All the forwards coming up, clogging the contest.
They need one here, West Coast, badly. Cox towards the line. Fosdyke, good handball. Crouch comes away with the footy. Has to concede it though. And Glass takes the mark on the wing. Gets it off to Embley. Embley to centre half forward. Hansen in good position to the back of that exchange. No one can take a mark. Sampi got a hand on his opponent. Sliding in was Stenglein. It's about 40 out from the West Coast Eagles goal and we'll have another bounce.
Dan Murphy set some key stat getters in this quarter for the Swans. 8 to Barry Hall and 5 marks. 6 to Kirk and O'Keefe.
West Coast crummers, they're non-existent at the moment.
21-point margin. Sydney's way. Got a ball up in front of the West Coast Eagles goalmouth at city end. 25 metres out. Umpire Brett Allen will put it on the turf. We've got 2 minutes 15 remaining in this first half of footy. Off hands. Nikoski round the body. Left foot high. One to the top of the square. Hansen's under. It'll be a mark if anyone gets hold of it. Punched away. Sydney with the numbers. Bit of confusion there. Matthews colliding with his own player and Crouch. Hansen has a little ping at the shot and then rush through. Ty Canali putting it through the defensive goalmouth for a behind. So a 20-point margin now with Sydney with just under 2 remaining in the first half.
The game needs a West Coast Eagles goal, Spud, just to ignite it.
And if Sydney kick 13, they win the game. They've only been beaten once.
That's the number.
13 goals.
14-0 when they kick 13 plus goals.
Canelli. Low and nice to Jolly.
All of a sudden, if they, as you say, James, if they don't kick a goal West Coast, this is going to go the way of a lot of other grand finals that just peters out in the second half because one team is not in the contest.
Matthews has it. Can go to Leo Barry, does so now. He's called to go because the kick didn't travel far enough. Handball over the top. Back to Matthews. He goes down the members' side of the ground. West Coast need the footy here. Get the thing back inside their forward 50. They've got it with Casey Green. A fumble low. Got the handball to Stenglein. Now to Cousins. Cousins goes down the wing. Cox should take this mark. Ball too fierce for him. And over the line, Bevan, the contesting player out there.
With Gardner off, Cox has to do all the ruck work because Seaby's in the goal square where normally Gardner is. So a lot's expected of Cox, who's getting now double teamed with Jolly and Bull.
I think I'd nearly rather see Seaby in the ruck and Cox at full forward.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Something they haven't tried so far. Jolly and Cox going it in the ruck. Cox won it down. Got it there to Fletcher. Handball around the corner. Here's Banfield on his non-preferred right. Up to Seaby. Seaby over the top. Spoiled it to ground. Barry caught one high. Might have faked. Umpire said he did, so it's play on. Ball up 20 metres out. West Coast goalmouth.
Correct, BT and JD, because Cox up in Sydney kicked 4 goals in a quarter. The game was all but done and dusted, but he went forward the last quarter and snagged 4.
20-point margin, 50 seconds remaining. West Coast have got it right near their goals. Goods takes it away from defence. It was a dash with the kick out wide, straight to Staker. Now Staker's marked the ball and he can bang it back for the West Coast Eagles. They've got time with 35 seconds.
Goes to Glass. He's 2 kicks from goal.
They've got to be quicker.
Sideways. It's going to work out to the big boy Cox.
Hunter's pushed forward. You just got to kick it to
25 seconds left.
They've taken one mark inside 50, the West Coast, for the game.
Cox just to thump it low and long. Sampi couldn't take the grab. Judd at ground level, breaks a couple of tackles, goes in the Fletcher direction with a handball. Nikoski wasn't clean. Fletcher went back and got it again.
Hang on,
but
beautifully,
the Swans defence is just hard.
Too hard.
Too good.
They are a committed unit back there, the Sydney defence.
They're tough.
And we'll have another bounce.
Seconds left in this first half here. There it is. Siren sounds. And at half-time, Sydney kicked all 3 goals in that second quarter and they lead it by 20 points. 6-3-39, West Coast 2-7-19, Kennards High, Doc Larkins.
37 changes that half, Brian, to Sydney. They're on track for 75 for the game. 28 to the West Coast Eagles. But the big difference, Brian, every time there's an interchange, the Sydney boys cannot wait to get on the ground. The West Coast look more tired. Early to call that change, I know, but they just look so more enthusiastic, Sydney.
It is the lowest half-time score this season for the West Coast Eagles. 2-7-19 they are. The Sydney Swans are 6-3-39. After the break, you'll hear from Brian Taylor, and he will take Danny Frawley, Jason Dunstall and Sam Newman through the first half of this match. The Swannies with a 20-point lead. And no point injecting or anything like that?
Well, if it's a bone injury or if it's the whole muscle that's swollen, it's too big an area to deal with.
Thank you, Doc. All right, we're getting ready for the second half to start. It is a 20-point lead to the Swans.
Well, just then you see Barry Hall get all the players together. They were together there for a minute and a half.
Gasper has gone on to Barry Hall, and Glass has gone to fullback onto O'Loughlin, which means Hunter is the man that has gone forward.
Just need the first goal, the West Coast, to get the thing back somewhere near level terms.
It's a good move because he kicked 2 goals in the last final against Sydney.
Down in the goal square, Adam Hunter.
6-3-39
And of
Sydney.
course, that's the matchup we wanted, Gasper and Hall, the two people punched. Or they didn't punch each other, but
2-7-19 the West Coast Eagles.
you vaguely know what I mean.
Start of the second
I
half.
don't know what I mean.
Sydney by 20 points. Both of them are thugs.
Thank you, Brian. That's what I was after.
In the middle, they go. Ball knocked to ground. Sydney get the soccer off the ground. Slight advantage to their city end goal. Fumbling there was Green. Green, handball over the top. Got a piece of it now, Fletcher. Fletcher with a handball back to Embley. Half back the Eagles on the southern stand side. So Embley's handball over the top to Werpunda. Werpunda close to the boundary line. Sends it straight down the line. Here's Chick. Roberts Thompson backs into it.
He is
Takes
one of the
mark.
best on the ground, Lewis Roberts Thompson.
Very nicely done. Into the centre where Matthews has got plenty of space. This time he fumbles. Concedes by hand to Roberts Thompson. He shovels it to Kennelly. Kennelly takes a risk.
Gone.
tackle.
It's got to be.
Loses
Dropping the ball.
Handball back from Kennelly to Roberts Thompson. Sideways he goes. Dempster at centre half back. Long to half forward. O'Keefe tracking behind Green. And now Staker comes in. Handball back to Green, and it opens up for West Coast.
Seem to have no pace though. Green shoves it
He's
down the
got
throat of
Chick in
Hanson.
space again.
Centre half forward, here's space, long ball, Chick to the pocket. Canali got there with a worrying hand. I'm not sure he even made contact with the ball.
He didn't play that well, Daniel.
It was enough to worry him out of it, over the line and out of bounds. Attacking 50 West Coast, they trail by 20 points.
But Sam, you were right. Hanson still had a prior opportunity to get the ball in there quicker.
did.
Half a second.
He did indeed.
Throw in, 30 out from the West Coast Eagles. Punt road end goal. Gardner in ruck. Didn't touch the footy, but went and picked it up. Missed Judd with a handball that he should have connected. Crouch brings it away. Bouncing footy for Fosdyke near the line. And he goes over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 65 out.
Oh, Gasper and Hall going at it.
Here we go.
Both grabbing each other by the throat. There's a couple of jumper punches going.
Beautiful.
Oh,
This
and
is
not
it.
taking a backward step either, Gasper.
Darren Goldsby coming over, the umpire.
To the back. Judd tried to get it to Wirpunda. Missed him. Went back and got it, Judd. West Coast Eagles fans and people saying, thank Christ he's out there, because he's about the only one who's recognising it. Doc.
Ryan O'Keefe off the ground early in this quarter. Not good news with the doctor, just walking up the boundary, having deep conversation. I'll get back to you.
Barry having a bit of a giggle with Gasper there as they bang into each other. A few little fists flying with a bit of a tummy tap here and there as Stenglein out of the takeaway. Got it inside 50 with a little kick. Canali to the boundary line has done well. Along that half-back line, it goes over the line. We'll have another boundary throw-in. 20-point margin, Sydney's way. Third quarter action here.
They're still at it.
They are going at it.
They're still at it.
This will be the only interest in the game shortly.
Gasper and Hall off the ball. Still at it, says Danny Frawley. Ball in the Eagles attacking area. Fosdyke, handball. Play on calls the umpire. Kick to centre wing. Barry marks. Barry Hall marks in front of Gasper. Plays on with a chipping ball over
They're
the top
gone.
to Mickey
The Eagles
O.
are stone motherless gone.
They haven't got no run in the legs
They've
at the
got
moment.
nothing.
O'Loughlin has got the ball centre wing, southern stand side.
Mickey O looks for Ablett. Sliding mark and he takes it, 80 out.
Chief, they can go and get the engraving implement now, and the Swans have won their first grand final for 78 years or whatever it is.
Inboard nicely to Williams, centre of the ground. Goes forward with a real wobbly one. Crouch has got it just outside the 50. Fumble from Fosdyke, but he broke the tackle far too easily. Back to Williams, 55 out, sits it up high. Cox all on his own, should mark and does. I tell you, the intense spotlight of the finals, especially the grand final, has really worked Chad Fletcher over spot.
They're on here.
He has fumbled his way
Yep.
through September.
Yep.
Picked up and pumped down the line very ordinarily by Gasper.
You've got to be better than that.
The turnover gets to Goods.
Staker was on, but
Look
the
at this.
skills aren't good enough.
He can run in and kick a goal. He could kick a goal.
Fosdyke a bounce.
Oh,
Loads
you
up.
foot-
Staker got
what
his
is
nine.
going
Got the
on?
kick away to Mickey O. Diving mark.
It's a litany of stupidity.
Dropped the mark in the end. O'Loughlin
God
spills to
almighty.
Cousins. Takes a bounce out of defence. Kick
Right
it
out in the
wide.
full.
Looking for the boundary line. Too much on it, Benny. And that one's gone all the way over the white line, and a free kick will be
You won't
Sydney.
see.
The Eagles-
Brian, go ahead.
Now, the Eagles have to attack through the corridor. Every time they get the ball, they're going wide. They're 4 goals down. Take some risks through the middle of the ground.
Goods has got the ball at half back. Played on, slipped over, regained his composure and slips the ball sideways. Here they go, Sydney once again. Leo Barry, dashing man, got the handball to Kennelly. A beautiful smooth runner, took a bounce, sent the ball long. Barry took his man under,
Here we
turned
go.
him inside out.
This'll be
Here
good.
comes Hall and Gasper. Gasper thought he might have tried to
Good
knock his head
tackle.
off.
Good tackle.
Disputed. Comes to Sampi. Sampi sets up Gardner,
It's
and the
co-
Eagles out of trouble.
Opening up here for West Coast. Gardner on the wing. Down the line he goes. Kicks all right, and Hunter takes a good mark. 2 kicks from goal. He's got Embley on. Has Embley on. Doesn't go there. Now he does. And Embley should mark, and he
kick.
does. Oh, thought about going on. Now he'll go back and take his kick deep in the pocket.
They've had all the play the first part of this third quarter. He has to kick this to give them any glimmer of hope. This is exactly the same spot that Ty Ganelli kicked one from earlier in the match.
Chief, we've limped through a season of football, watching some good games and some bad games, and not liking the umpires and then liking them and seeing good players. This is the worst football I've seen for many a long year. This is just shit.
Embley. Set shot to the punt road end.
If I could use
Must
that term.
kick this goal. On the way.
Got it.
It
That's
is
good.
there.
It's back on!
The West Coast have got the first of the second half, and it's back on at the MCG.
Well, it's good. They played on quickly then. When Gardner got the ball in the wing, he wanted to get the ball going. They counter-attacked a little bit quicker. They need to just play with some flair. Get the ball in there. All right, their forward line's not, star-studded, but if you quick ball movement catches any defence on the back foot, Jace.
I still get amazed at West Coast defence. They continue to take the back position. They continue to concede the lead-up ball. Even when everyone else is pushed up the ground, they know the ball can't go long over their heads. Why not stand in front of him, put your arm across him, and stop that easy hit-up
At
lead?
least we said if the Swans kicked the first goal, it was over. They haven't. They are still thereabouts, the West Coast.
They are. They're within 14 points. Ball back in the middle, early stages, third quarter. Another one here would really set the game alight for the Eagles, and a free kick will go Sydney's way out of the middle.
Well, Cox is remonstrating because he felt he was shepherded out of that.
Jolly has got the free. No one stands the mark. Cox come back now. Has Jolly kicked forward. Barry on the lead. Barry on the lead. Barry dropped the chest mark. Barry. Barry has dropped the centre of a chest mark, and Barry is having trouble marking the ball.
He is.
That's the second one.
he did drop
O'Loughlin
that.
dropped one too.
Where Ruzzi's coached really well. Goods and Davis are playing half-forward flank, getting tagged. They're playing up the wing, which really does have an open Sydney Swans forward line.
Worked down by Jolly. Judd trying to get involved. Can he
look out.
ignite? Can he ignite with some blistering brilliance? Got it to Sampi. Took it in the one juke. Left foots
Good
it inside
play.
the forward 50, but they're caught behind the West Coast Eagles forwards. Kennelly was excellent. Got it off to Goods. Handball from that player misses its target. Sampi gets involved again.
Is that good
Hunter
football?
and Sampi might have copped the push in the back.
Surely.
No free. This is Staker. Tries to get a handball clear. Kirk picked it up.
Now,
over the top.
Kick it.
Fosdyke. Left foot's the long one to Barry Hall, and he's got it.
Too easy.
He's got Gasper terrified.
Yeah, you're spot on, Brian. Correct weights. No, seriously.
Every time they kick to a contest in the Sydney forward line, the Sydney player is 80 or 90% assured of getting the ball. At the other end, it's the totally opposite stat. I don't know how Ashley Sampi didn't get a free kick out in the wing, though.
So Barry Hall has won this afternoon. Set shot from 45 out, members' side of the ground to the City end. Taking a long time over it. Kick on the way.
Oh, it's
It
good.
is going to miss to the left-hand side. And a let-off for the West Coast, who now trail by 15 points.
Yep, we're willing that to miss. We only just want it to be close. We don't care who wins.
Gee, look at that. Scoreboard 3-7-25, Sydney 6-4-40 on the Triple M. McDonald's Chili quarter pounder scoreboard. Werpunda kicks the ball back in a play, high on the head of Staker. Got a bit of help from Stenglund at the back. The Shepherd on the back was good. Comes to the back of the pack. Matthews to Williams. Williams handball wide to Jolly. Jolly standing start deliver. High ball, danger, 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 danger. Mark has been taken by Buchanan. Buchanan has marked the ball uncontested. 35 metres out on the 50-degree angle.
Well, Werpunda made the classic mistake for a backman. He just assumed that Davis and Banfield were going to contest the ball, and Buchanan took the easiest of marks.
He did indeed, and this will mean that Buchanan will line up. A little bit of breeze from right to left here.
They don't seem to have lifted their intensity, the Eagles. I mean, whether
Gasper's going off.
Kerr is it coming on, is it?
Yeah.
It looks like Glass has gone back onto Hall.
So Kerr's coming on for another attempt. In the meantime, Buchanan lines up. Third quarter, early stages, kick on the way across the face. Missed two in a row, Sydney. Could have blown it apart.
Yep.
6-5-41, West Coast 3-7-25, McDonald's scoreboard.
Sampi's had a bit of the ball. Fosdyke started on him. He's been taken off the ground. They put young Bevan onto Sampi now.
Werpunda to bring it back in. West Coast need to kick goals on end.
They haven't created much from their kick-outs, West Coast.
This is Nikoski. Kicked their first goal. Gets it to Staker.
She's a lifeless, spiritless contest at the minute.
Staker inside his own defensive 50.
Just not getting the change of direction down back, the West Coast.
Goes down the wing. Cox and Goods, neither can mark. Kirk was very good at ground level. Got it to Matthews. High ball forward. Nikoski read it best at centre-half back and took, in the end, an uncontested chest mark. He's got numbers breaking to the members' side. Werpunda one of them. Good kick. And it gets him in space in front of the members' stand.
Werpunda thought about going wide. Will now bring it back in the corridor with a low ball. Risky Kerr.
Give up. You give up watching this.
Canelli was all over him in fringe.
At least, I know it was poor Sam, but at least they endeavoured to bring it back into the corridor. That's a good start.
Kerr, now they go wide to Banfield. Banfield on the left boot, right over the logo on centre wing. Kicks it to the punt right end. Sampi rises above the pack. Couldn't hold the mark. Spills. Look at the Swans players around it. Matthews picked it up, banged it on the boot, but it's been marked by Cousins. Cousins just forward to the centre. Kicks the ball long. Embley's in front. Couldn't hold the mark. Comes to ground. Sampi danger. Bevan just bulldozes his way through. Sydney with a linking handball. Beautiful. Goods to the middle. Out of trouble.
The bouncing footy's not going to work for them though. Glass comes bursting through. Gets it to Cousins in the centre. Cousins to half forward. Gardner, for God's sake, stand up and do something, man. Footy's banged away from him. Dempster on the deck. Over the footy.
The ball
is all day long gone. No.
Why wouldn't you play that? He dived on the ball.
McLaren says I want it and he'll bounce it.
West Coast have to take advantage of this because Sydney are just off the money. Just off the boil like they were in the first half.
Punt road end. Footy bounced. Hooked in by Gardner. Jude Bolton tackled by Staker. Now Leo Barry just kicks the standing banana in the O'Keefe direction. Werpunda with him. Over the line footy. Boundary throw in wing half forward. Great southern stand side.
How can a man that's 6'10" in Gardner not actually lay a physical
glove
bump or anything in this game is unbelievable. Boundary throw in half forward for the Eagles. They're fighting hard though. They've had all of the play so far in this 12 minutes of footy in the second half. Cox, handball to Nikoski. Nikoski on the left foot, driving ball inside 50. There is Embley. Up they go. Kerr was there as well. Embley was being held by Dempster. Keeps the ball in front. It's inside their 50. Embley won it out. Left foot kick around the body. Slipped over at the crucial moment of the Eagles.
Yes.
Around the body snap. Goal. Hanson's got it. Hanson has nailed it. The Eagles are back in business. They've kicked both goals in this third quarter. And oh boy, they're back within 10 points.
Well, John Worsfold will be asking his players who would want to stand up, and Embley's been the man at the start of this third quarter. He's been absolutely terrific. He's had 4 possessions this quarter, but it's quality possessions. He's actually going off the ground now. He must be absolutely spent, because why would you take him off when he's on fire like this?
He's spent. He's down on all fours there, just trying to...
I tell you what, how instinctive was Ashley Hanson. He knew he was going to get collared as soon as he got the ball. Just threw it on the boot, over the shoulder. He's had a long return after injury. He probably just doesn't have the match fitness he had early in the year. He's tried his heart out, Embley, and gave him a little burst of energy that's got him back in the game.
Hand pass that went to Embley came from Judd.
It's the Eagles have got
boundary throw in.
The Eagles have got 8 forwards and 8 defenders. Have a look at the Sydney Swans forward line. Just three forwards. A lot of space.
And Chick, who started forward, is back at fullback on O'Loughlin.
10-point lead for Sydney. West Coast have kicked the last 2 goals of the match. Stenglein taking the ground. There'll be another bounce. 17-minute mark of the second term. The last goal for the Swans. So they've dried up.
Do you want 7 forwards if you're West Coast Eagles? Do you want 7 inside 50?
That's the way John
What they
Worsfold
don't want
plays.
are loose Sydney players just crowding the defensive 50.
Second bounce. Big fist from Goods. Into the path of Wirpunda. Does not want to take possession. With Buchanan hard on his heels. Well done, Buchanan. Well done, Fletcher. That was great. Picks up the left foot ball forward. Missed Kerr, but he bounced up. He was taken down by Kennelly really well. And the Swans can regroup through Kirk.
It has. Crowder on their feet. You're right, Danny. The intensity is there now. Goods wide to Hall. Dropped another mark.
Play on.
And rightly so.
Yeah,
He can't mark it. Barry has glass. Driving ball over the head of Gardner. The big giraffe has not gone near it today. He's been a disgrace. Robert Thompson, defence at 50. Short ball finds Goods.
Goods has been good. He's lifted in the last couple of weeks, Goods.
16. Dan Murphy's today for Goods. Short ball finds Barry. And he shows it to the umpire and says, look at that, I took a mark up. Like the last one. Barry, near the boundary line on the wing, kicks to the city end. High ball on the head of Ball. Judd rises. Couldn't claim the mark, had 2 bites at it. Staker should have handballed a little earlier. He was tackled. Seaby went in and then he backed out very, very quickly. He saw something in it he didn't like and he just backed straight back out of the pack. No hesitation, ball up.
Get the reverse gear on.
Bounce. 80 out from the Swans goal. Seaby this time taken to ground with the footy. Wirpunda ends up with it. Had Judd on, ignored him. High ball down the members' side of the ground. Gardner. This time it's Green. Controlled it to Kerr. Kerr got the handball to Selwood. Selwood looking for Sampi. Hanson there as well. Sampi picks it up. Around the body looking for the big boy Cox. Edged out of it very nicely by Leo Barry. But then Leo has a little fumble. And he's taken out of the contest and holding against
50.
Cox.
He's gone berserk, Cox. That's the second one he reckons he's been hardly done by.
Gee, he's gone berserk.
And 50. He went too far and that was silly.
And he's pointing at the umpire now. And McLaren saying, I don't want to talk to you. And there's nothing worse than when an umpire says, I don't want to talk to you. That is frustrating.
And while you're running backwards onto the mark, BT.
They've had 9 to 5 inside 50s this quarter, West Coast, but they've got to keep the pressure up. Again, they just concede that lead-up target.
Here's Hall, the leading up man.
For goodness sake, someone go and start in front of your opponent.
Here comes O'Loughlin now. Mickey O. Chicky Babe just closes him down very nicely. Kirk slaps it back to Big Barry. Got it on the wing. No. Stuck his head over it. Chicky Babe got him.
Oh, come on, umpire.
The umpire just not getting into the spirit of what we want to see, which is something nice and tight.
Also, they've put Hunter's gone forward, Cox has gone forward, Seaby into the ruck, so their forward structure's looking dangerous if they can get it in there.
Eagles have kicked the only 2 goals of the quarter. They're down by 10 points at the 17-minute mark here in the third. Here goes Judd the machine. Hassled out of it. Crouch got on the end of it. Banged it down towards there. Snyder one out, took the mark. He beat Banfield, 1 out, and he'll kick it from 50 metres out. Slight angle. right on the 50-metre line.
this,
is the man
Open
on the
forward
mark.
line, no tools back. Seabee taking an eternity to get back.
55 metres out he is. I'm not sure he'll get the distance from here. He sees something he likes. Canali getting back though. Fletcher did well, brought it to the ground. Comes to Buchanan, ducked his head.
Yep.
Green goes in for the tackle. Green tries to extract the ball. He does. Well done, Eagles. They're fired up and they are ready to go. They're within 10 points here at the 17-minute mark of the third.
Was that man inside the 50-metre arc when he passed that ball?
No, he would have been kicking from about 53, 54.
Yeah, not
Ball
sure
and Seabee. Fosdyke
threw
now. Threw it out to Kirk. Kirk just kicks the high ball forward. Mickey O in the region. Goods in the region. Chicky Babe, very nice. Goes the long ball, Gardner, please. There we go.
That's better.
Just wrapped his hands on the prune. Big Gardner.
And took Keneally out of the play too. Good.
Now he'll go long. Hunter in best position here for the Eagles. Good mark.
He's got strong hands.
Starting to lift
Space
a little
forward.
West Coast.
Space forward.
They got Cox deep on Barry.
They
Here
got it down
comes
long
Cox
and
now.
quick.
Gets the short ball forward to Judd. He's about 70 out.
Don't know that Cox should be leading though.
Chris Judd, too far out to score. Got Cox on now, goes in that direction. Good pick up on the half volley from
How
the big
good was
fella.
that?
Gets the handball in. Picked up by Sten Glein. The snap away is going to miss to the left-hand side and go through for a behind. 9 points now, Brian.
Yep.
Banfield off, Cousins on.
Goal and a half in it.
Banfield on.
Banfield on.
West Coast with all the play in this third quarter, making a spirited comeback here now. We've got 6.25 minutes left in the third quarter.
Someone better pick up Schneider because he is all on his own.
West Coast are within 9 points. Barry to Ball by foot, and Ball takes the mark at half back. Got the bandage head, went off early with the blood rule. Kick over the top is short and finds Matthews. Seabee stands on the mark. Matthews, half back, Southern stand side. Sydney to the city end in the third quarter. The kick to Hall. Glass was caught napping. Made up a bit of time. Cousins was there. Sten Glein almost threw it out. Sampy's come to life in this quarter. He's been good. Handball to Fletcher. Fletcher to Judd. Judd, handball over the top to Seabee. On his favoured left boot. Will drive it inside 50. On the lead, Hunter.
He looks good up forward,
he
doesn't he?
does.
Hunter has marked directly in front. 45 metres out.
He's created the movement.
Yep.
He's created some movement. As you see, Crouch go off. Williams on. Crouch is on Judd. So what a game Judd's playing.
This to get the Eagles within 3 points. He is directly in front and he'll kick it from right on the 50 line or just inside to the punt road end. Watch the crowd absolutely get involved in this one if it's close. Hunter comes
shanked it.
in.
Oh no,
shanked
Way off the left-hand side of the boot and the minor score. 6-5-41 Sydney West Coast. On the Triple M scoreboard, 4-9-33.
That's the problem they have, is even though Hunter looks dangerous, they don't have anyone that's comfortable in front of goals actually shooting for them.
Williams will go to Kirk now. No. Hangs onto the footy, deep in his own defensive 50. High down the great southern stand wing. Nikoski to fist from behind O'Keefe. O'Keefe will get it now, but he's wrapped up in the Nikoski tackle. Sampy's been very good. Fosdyke was okay, got it back to Bevan. The squaring kick from Bevan needs to work. Roberts Thompson runs onto it and runs away from Seabee. Long ball forward from Roberts Thompson. Staker the fist.
Good score.
Green now with Schneider. The boundary line there as well, and Schneider just conceded. It's going to be a boundary throw in, 80 out from the city end goal. The Swans have ground to a halt and have been about 25 minutes since their last goal.
17-minute mark of the second quarter, their last goal, Sydney.
Ball off, Jolly on BT, straight
And
into the ruck.
We're now at the 21-minute mark of the third quarter, so it's been over a quarter. Seabee trying to sock it out of mid-air. Jolly was in there. He stacked in on the ball. We'll have a ball up here as well. 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter and an 8-point margin here. Sydney are winning.
Amazing that in these conditions we could have a 10-goal to 8 grand final, something that low scoring when it's just beautiful conditions for football.
Superb playing conditions here today. Not a lot of wind, nice temperature, little overcast. Crowd getting involved. Buchanan, centre wing, gains possession on the left boot, down the lead of Barry Hall. Barry Hall just got bowled over by Glass. Left a couple of Eagles standing. Look at this. Cousins has got Werponder on in the middle. Werponder, Roberts Thompson, Werponder marks. That was going to be a collision there. Werponder can play on over the top. goes wide to Hanson. Here come the Eagles again. Gardner, Cox on the lead as well. Embley stretches the hands out, gains his own ball from the ground. Right foot snap to the goal square. Mark missed, comes to Sampi under enormous pressure.
Well on, Jolly.
Sydney do well in the end to clear the ball.
Got a disputed rock here though.
Copped it high.
Holding Jude Bolton, no free. Down the line he goes, soccers it out of midair. This is desperate stuff now. Selwood picked up and taken to the ground by Fosdyke. Will have a bounce. 7 of the last 8 inside 50s to West Coast. In fact, 8 of the last 9.
I tell you what, Jolly just saved Sydney a goal there in the forward pocket. He was terrific. Sampi was going to run onto that ball.
Here is Jolly. Got a hand in there. And it's over the line again for a boundary throw-in.
Tell you what, it mightn't be.
Members wing.
It certainly isn't the prettiest game we've ever seen, but at least the pressure and intensity has lifted dramatically in the third quarter.
You just get the sense that something special is going to happen from one of the big stars, a Judd, a Cousins, a Hall, a Goods, one of those sort of players. Here's Fletcher, steps inboard and then coughs it up with an awful handball. Kennelly taken to ground. Kerr stuck his head over it, but he's taken over the line. And we'll have another boundary throw-in.
He really has undone a lot of his good work throughout the season, Chad Fletcher, with a couple of just very tentative performances in the finals. Just fumbling, his decision-making, all just reeks of pressure, doesn't it?
Sydney 6-5-41, lead West Coast 4-9-33. Boundary throw-in, neutral territory centre wing. Handball out to Punda. Control the ball wonderfully. Oh, look at that for skill. Comes away on the non-preferred left side now. High ball on the head of Hanson. Robert Thompson's there as well. Boundary line beat all comers, and we'll have a boundary throw-in half forward for West Coast with 2.25 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 23 minutes has expired. And a boundary throw in 70 metres around from West Coast punt road goal.
Brett Kirk's had an extended spell on the bench, so they're saving him up for the fourth quarter.
Another one for the West Coast would just ignite this game in the last quarter. Judd was tackled by a couple and we'll have another ball up 60 metres from the Eagles punt road goal. Doc Larkins, Kennard Tyre.
Buchanan waving to the bench.
Free
He wants
kick.
to get a rest early then.
Free
and
kick against
can't get the change yet.
Fletcher, that was just undisciplined off the ball, just whacked an opponent high.
Goods has run forward. Cousins gets back very well on him. Brilliantly done by Cousins. We're Punda. And now Casey Green. They just starting to run the West Coast. Goes to half forward. Cox and Sampi. Sampi at the back has played nice football. Left foots it to Hunter. Hunter might have got a push. Cox got it. Off to Hanson. His kick smothered. Now the Sydney defence under pressure. Little inching ball forward. Judd's defensive handball was very nice to Kerr. On the attacking 50, the kick forward's good to Hunter, and he takes it inside the field of play, about 40 out.
They're out in the legs, Sydney.
I was just about to say, Kerr's been important. I know he's injured, he must be juiced up, but he's been terrific this quarter.
Other bloke that looks good is Ashley Sampi. They both had 5 touches this quarter, Kerr and Sampi, and Sampi looks dangerous every time the ball's at ground level now.
Side trying to win the pennant. Can't kick a goal in a quarter. This is the Swans. Got a minute to kick a goal.
To make it 3 in a row for the West Coast.
Oh, he has!
Has threaded the eye of the needle. They have kicked their third straight, and they are on the march. 2-point lead to Sydney. Miracle goal from the set shot from Hunter. It is 6-5-41 Sydney. 5-9-39 West Coast. Triple M McDonald's chili quarter-pounder scoreboard.
Well coached, John Worsfold. He had to try something. Hunter was good on O'Loughlin in the first half, but the forward structure wasn't there. Even though they've got a crowded forward line, the movement, that's what I've loved, Jace, up there.
What about the kick from Hunter after he shanked one from directly in front? He then threads the needle. Extraordinary stuff.
Unbelievable. They've kicked all 3 goals in this third quarter. Sydney got all 3 in the second quarter. And Sydney have never been held goalless in a quarter against the West Coast Eagles. Well, I tell you what, there's only a minute to go. Sydney working inside their forward 50. O'Loughlin's there. He leads, check to the ball, grabs it near the boundary line, kept it in. Well done. Looking for support. Hamill to Goods.
It was out.
Looking for the give and go, but the boundary umpire pulls the party and says, give it to me. We're going to throw it in. 49 seconds remaining, attacking 50 Sydney.
Was out, so a good decision from the boundary umpire. We got the ball to be thrown in. 55 out from Sydney's goal. They lead now by just 2 points. They led by 20 points at half-time. West Coast now starting to win those 50-50 balls. Doc Larkins.
50 interchanges to Sydney, JB, or not even three-quarter time yet. 35 to the West Coast, but Sydney are looking much more tired at the moment.
Daryl Hart, the runners, trying to get all the West Coast Eagles behind the ball.
One down. to Fosdyke, and he was claimed in the Selwood tackle.
Well, they've done the job this quarter, West Coast. What they've done is they've got back in the game, they've got momentum. It is just going to be a low-scoring grind, but what they can't afford now is Sydney to kick a goal in the last 30 seconds of this quarter to get some breathing space.
That's what Worsfold's doing to the runner. He's saying just slow the play up, get another ball up.
There's nobody defensive side of the contest.
Cox and Jolly and Jude Bolton, the third one up. Here comes Fletcher. He was taken to ground. Dempster went and got it, but was wrapped up. Nick Davis has done bugger all. We're punter.
He's been good. We're a punter.
Tries to get the footy out of there. Might have copped the push. Well done. Green has been okay. Slapped it forward to Banfield, the premiership player. And there's the siren. And that is a big-time quarter for the West Coast Eagles. 3 unanswered goals, and they're back to within 2 points.
You want a close grand final, you've got one.
You certainly do. You talk about Nick Davis, but what about the guy on him? Drew Banfield, the last play for the West Coast to taste premiership success. He's been terrific.
6-5, 41 Sydney. West Coast, 5-9, 39. It is going to be a huge run to the line at the MCG. And don't go anywhere, it's Triple M footy, and it's a 2-point ball game thanks to Vodafone's $79 super cap. Triple M rocks final football.
Triple M footy.
Goal in the second quarter. The Sydney side feeding him. Not a goal in that quarter of football.
West Coast forward line just looks a bit better balanced. You've got Gardner as your tall, but you've also got Hanson, you've got Hunter, and you've got Embley, and at their feet you've got Sampi and Cousins.
1984 was the last time a team won a flag when trailing at three-quarter time. The Bombers got home in that one. They are 2 points adrift here, the West Coast Eagles.
Let's get the final term underway. Goldspink to bounce the footy. You just get a feeling about the West Coast. I don't know why. Let's have a look. Cox and Jolly. Neither touched it. Fletcher was Judd, was taken high. Will get a free.
How good a game as he has.
The Norm Smith medalist goes with the drop punt out in front of his skipper Cousins.
Good option.
Gets to him on the bounce. Got Williams to beat. Gets the handball over the top. Green beaten by a very fickle bounce. And Buchanan picks it up to Williams. Over the top now to Crouch. Got Mickey O on. Got Mickey O on. Got him.
Tell you right now.
Shocking hand pass by Cousins.
Ben Cousins, this will be his goal. The kick from Judd was a good one. He kicked it out into space. He backed one of the best small players in the competition, Cousins, to get it. Cousins did get it. But then he should have either taken the player on or just booted it forward.
He should have, Chief.
He went for a fancy handball, over the shoulder, turnover, shot for goal.
Play like a man who's just won a Brownlow.
All right, here we go with O'Loughlin. 40 metres out, slight angle. Should convert.
Did miss one from a similar spot, same end earlier in the game.
Might not convert. O'Loughlin. Kick on the way.
Shanked it again.
Didn't make the distance. Has not registered a score, Brian.
That went 25 metres, that kick.
That slewed off the outside of his boot.
This is a man that is highly skilled, Mickey O, and he's not getting the job done in front of the timber.
This is a man who's playing in one of two sides that have kicked 6 and 5 goals for the whole game, respectively, Brian.
Nikoski at half-back has got it. The lights are ablaze, darkening conditions here at the MCG for this last quarter. We're 1 3/4 minutes into it, and it's a 2-point margin if you've just tuned. Sydney 6-5-41, West Coast 5-9-39, the Bundy Rum scoreboard. Where Punda would be in contention for the Norm Smith as well. Judd got another tackle high. Kerr had an injury earlier, had to go off. Judd kept it alive. Judd. Handball over the top. Jolly runs onto it at half-back. Gave the handball to Williams. He stepped on the gas, went through a bit of traffic. A nice little
terrible kick.
They will not kick it in quickly and long.
Banfield long to Hanson. Ball bounces in front of him. Can he pick it up? He's ragdolled by Roberts-Thompson. Coughs the footy up. Kennelly's been very good. And the handball to Craig Bolton was excellent. And Bolton slots it into Fosdyke on the wing with his 20th stat. He's been good.
He's knackered Andrew Embley.
Couple of bounces. He'll go to Big Baz. The jukes were extended, but he couldn't take it. And he gets turned around by Glass. And his handball in front of Embley. And the short one's good to Hunter.
Hunter's got the ball. The Stengline on wing. Handball into Stengline. Danny, I saw him, and there he is. He gets the ball. Bangs it inside 50. Here comes Gardner. Gardner, do something. Oh, he's got pushed under the ball again. It comes to Sampi and Williams. They go at it at ground level. They knock it forward to boundary line. Kennelly takes it over. Boundary throw in Doc Larkins, Kennard's higher.
Yeah, Jared Crouch off the doctors at the moment. He's rolled the right ankle. Brian couldn't put any weight on it. They're just checking him out, but he's pretty sore.
It is a 2-point ball game.
Luke Ablett back on Chris Judd.
That hurts them. Crouch off.
Yep.
Throw in deep inside West Coast forward 50. Gardner slaps it to the back. Judd couldn't possess the footy. Jolly just banged it out of there. Down the Great Southern Stand wing. Hall was very good that time, but went without the footy. Nikoski broke through. 80 out from goal. Low ball. Ablett. Beautiful mark. Wonderful mark. 30 out from his own goal.
Well, there's a few mistakes being made. It's who's going to keep their head at the right time.
Oh, no!
You've called it, JD.
He has gone across the face of goal and coughed it up. And Cousins has taken the mark at the top of the goal square.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Luke Ablett, what in God's name were you on about, man?
Gubby Allen.
I tell you what, no one can take a mark, no one can kick properly, no one can play properly.
What a mistake.
To give them the lead, Cousins has kicked a goal.
She snuck it in.
Just
West
lucky.
Coast hit the lead, can you believe that? 6-9-45, Sydney 6-5-41, Triple M Monday Rum scoreboard.
The football's a game of mistakes, but the pressure doubles the mistakes, you know what I mean? And that there, Luke Ablett, he's had 3 kicks, 3 clangers. It's just unbelievable.
What the Sydney players have to do, Spud, is get around Luke Ablett. He's still got a big job to do.
And
He's playing on Chris Judd while Crouch is off injured. Get around him and get his spirits up. He can't afford to drop the head.
All the momentum's now with the West Coast Eagles. Paul Roos will be asking his coaching staff, we need to pull something out of the hat because Worsfold did at half time.
Again, a 7-man forward line for West Coast, and they're all starting deep, bar Brent Staker up at centre-half forward.
West Coast by 4 points. Unbelievably, they've kicked the last 4 goals of the game, and they have led for just 18 of the 93 minutes so far. They're in front now, early in the final quarter. Out of the middle. Eagles got another clearance there. Cox just got a little poker. Look at him run. Here's Judd. Tried to pick up the ball.
Didn't have a kick.
Free kick, Judd.
Rubbish.
Just forward to the centre circle.
Fair dinkum, that's rubbish.
Bolton's got a knock on the head. Judd goes wide with the kick to Kerr. He marks. He can play on. He can go to Staker wide. Here he goes. Gets to round 1. Kerr from inside 50. Shot.
That's a mark. That's a mark.
Hunter's marked the ball on the line.
I don't believe it is.
Hunter's marked the ball on the goal
I don't
line.
believe it is, though.
Well, Ty Kennelly's got to stop arguing and get on the side of the mark so that he can't run around.
Between the behind post and the goal post, Jude Bolton going off for the split melon.
Here we go. Now,
But all the focus is on Hunter.
we don't have a replay of this properly.
He is on the boundary line. He's going the banana.
They're about 3 metres away. They're 2 metres away, the players on the side.
He'll run around, kick the goal. Got it.
He's done it again.
He's kicked 2 miracle goals. Players are saying
Sydney
it's
say it was touched.
Sydney players are saying it was touched. Hunter's going around high-fiving. And they're in front by 10 points, West Coast.
Well, momentum's a huge thing in football. Since half-time, Hunter's had 5 possessions, 5 marks, 2 goals, 1.
Yep.
All the momentum at the moment is with the Eagles.
I'll tell you right now, it may have been touched, but there is no way that the Sydney players should have been that close to him. He took 1 step out to the right, and there were 2 players lurching at him who were only 1.5 metres away. You've got to give him a little bit of space, the man with the ball.
Even McLaren, umpire McLaren,
Jeez.
got caught up in the pressure of things because you're spot on. They should have been 15 metres off the ball.
Have kicked the last 5 goals of the match, and they now lead it by 10 points, West Coast. 7-9 to Sydney 6-5. The inaccuracy of Mickey O.
Hunter's done it again.
He has, thus far.
Bounce of the centre ball.
Time for Sydney to answer.
Jolly and Cox. Belted forward by Cox. This is Nick Davis. Has had no prune today.
Great pressure there.
Handball forward, not great. He's going to get it back, Nick Davis. Stretches away from Banfield, does he? Pressure from behind. High ball forward. Goods went without it. Goods has got to keep his feet. Buchanan's got to pick it up.
In the
Might have
back.
got the push. No free kick.
Should have been.
And the footy is on the deck and there'll be a bounce.
Buchanan was stiff there.
Let's go to the dock.
Yeah, Jude Bolton getting his head bandaged. He'll come back with a rugby helmet on, and Jared Crouch ready to come back with the ankle restrapped.
Yep,
He's
Luke,
on.
a disappointed Luke Ablett goes off. Boundary throw in here. West Coast trying to keep it alive. And scoreboard check. West Coast 7-9-51, Sydney 6-5-41. It's in the Sydney forward 50 at the punt road end. They trail by 10 points. We've played 7 minutes in the last quarter of the 2005 grand final. Anyone's ball game. Sydney have got it at their end. Wrapped up in the tackle. I think it may have been Williams. And we'll have a ball up. Can't see that man. He's right at the bottom of the pack. And it's 20 metres from Sydney's punt road goal. Umpire Brett Allen will ball it up at the
Great
Snyder.
tackle, Daniel Kerr.
Still deep in the Swans forward 50. Jolly to the back. No one there though. Selwood the only player there. He's wrapped up. And they'll do the bounce thing again.
Now this is what they've been good at, the Swans, in past games. Did it great against Geelong. They managed to just fashion a chance by some good deft ruck work.
Jolly left it on that occasion. Hooked out of there by Cox. It's on the members' wing, half forward. Here comes Judd. Look at the one-handed pickup. Look at the pickup.
Oh, magnificent.
This is a supreme unit.
3-on-1 he was.
Just putting on a show.
Running at full pace, kept his balance, was getting tackled from behind.
Easy to do
Was
that,
getting
though.
pressured from the front.
That's easy to pick the ball up one hand than two hands. When it's
Judd,
still
26
No, it is.
possessions and 11 clearances.
It was good. It was great.
Big roundhouse there from Cox. Free kick going the other way to Jolly.
And got an open forward line, got to move it quick.
Goes now, looking for Barry Hall. Good mark.
He's marked when he marks 1 in 5, Barry.
55 out.
Just put it through. Don't even look at anyone else, Barry. Kick the ball 54 metres.
91,898 people here today, JB.
That was amazing.
Within 3,000 of capacity.
Well, leaders need to step up under pressure, and Barry Hall, you're the captain. He just needs to slot this.
He is 50 out. Big kick. Huge kick. Barry Hall set sail.
He's kicked it.
He has kicked it. He has kicked it. That is a big statement from a big-time player. And the Swannies get it back to 4 points. 7-5-47 to the West Coast, 7-9-51.
That is leadership at its absolute best.
Yep.
You've got the captain. You see O'Loughlin shank a kick. He said, now it's my turn. I'm 55 out, and just went whack.
Hall's had 16 touches, 10 marks, kicked 2 goals. When was the last time you saw him take a mark other than leading up to the ball?
I haven't.
So why do they continue to stand behind him and allow him to lead up to the ball?
Quite right, Chief.
Very, very good. That's why he's in the
Insightful
box.
work from the Chieftain.
He spends all day at Fox Footy
Why
just working
wouldn't-
on the
yes.
game.
Why wouldn't
Chiefs left
Darren
it to the
Glass
last Saturday in September.
stand
to
in front of
start
him, man?
firing.
Here we go. It's a 4-point ball game. West Coast in front by 4 points. We've got 13 and a half minutes remaining in the grand final, and it's anyone's ball game. A close grand final here today in front of 91,898 capacity here at the moment. 95,000.
The stage is set for someone to win this with some individual brilliance this match.
Every contest is crucial.
Lights are ablaze. Crowd noise is deafening. Cox wins it down to Staker. Got a kick out of the pack, Sydney to centre half forward. Nikoski's harassed by Snyder. Kept it alive. Sam said they're good at doing this. Hall burst loose. Barry Hall to O'Loughlin.
Oh, what a kick.
O'Loughlin's mark within 35 metres on a 45-degree angle.
No way he'll kick it, bro.
He's had a bad day kicking today, Mickey O.
Well,
This
he might.
one, he has never attempted a more important kick in his life.
I'll tell you what, players don't like tackling Barry Hall. They're all a little
He's
bit
not taking much
standoffish.
time here, Mickey O'Loughlin. Look.
In he comes. Oh, doing a handstand.
no.
Chick
Chicky
did a
Babe.
handstand.
He's missed it again.
O'Loughlin
Oh, no.
has missed to the right again.
He has done a handstand on the mark, Brian.
He has, Chicky Babe.
What is he doing?
3-point ball game in favour of the West Coast Eagles.
That's tough to do with only 9 fingers.
Green off with Punter on.
Banfield to bring it back in. Goes short and gets it very nicely to Nikoski.
What? Yeah, no, I know.
To Fletcher. Got to him on the bounce. Fletcher goes to the Chicky Babe. Takes it just inside the field of play. Gets it to Judd, who went to ground. Judd tried to get it back to Chick. A little too cute here, West Coast. It's over the line, boundary throw.
Pose a question. Has Judd got the Norm Smith medal now, whether they win or lose?
Yeah,
Yes.
good, yes.
Yes.
Well, who else has been
27 possessions, BT.
Where Punter's been good.
27
opponents.
touches, 11 clearances. Last winner of the Norm Smith medal in a non-winning team would
Nathan
be
Buckley.
Nathan Buckley. Thank you very much. Before that, Jason
Only a couple of years ago, Gary Ablett.
Sid Coventry,
Rioli. Quite a few.
Charles Brownlow,
Rafter
Okay.
Farman.
Ball knocked down. Sydney Ford 50.
Free kick.
Tom
West
Wills
Coast.
before that.
Rodney Gronewigan.
West Coast have got the free kick at half back. It's the Gliner. Gave the handball up to Kerr. Kerr a running bounce now too. Has worked the ball to the southern stand wing, heading to the city end. The West Coasters. Kick on the head of Hanson is high. Hanson one-hander mark. Brilliant. Hanson has got the ball.
Got to move it quick.
They've got an open forward line, West Coast. Just get it in there. Here's Gardner on the lead. Look at this. The big praying mantis. In he comes. No hope.
Here we
look
go.
at that. Ball comes the ground. Staker went over the top of it. Picked it up eventually. And Matthews the tackle.
Fumble.
Boo, Brian.
You know what Staker had to do? He just had to slow down, pick the ball up at ground level. He had two opponents, two teammates just handball.
Really exciting game this, and the worst football you'd ever see.
3-point lead to West Coast. As the ball slapped into the hands of Buchanan. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Got a little handball away. The hands were good for the Swans.
Big time.
Williams has got it. Has a bounce.
Free
Draws
kick.
Banfield. Goes with a long ball to Mickey O. Chicky Bode there too. Mickey O. A very nice Jukish mark.
Get up and play on.
Oh, yeah.
He'll pass this to
He's
Hall.
got to miss-kick a goal shortly.
He's 50 out. Looked to Barry. And then said, no, I'm sorry, Barry.
He must miss-kick one straight soon.
He had Barry on.
He was always going to pass it.
Shocking option. Shocking option to Davis. And it's now in the hands of Nikoski. And he goes for the long ball. Looking for Hunter. He's got two to beat Hunter. Going to be hard for him to do it. Disputed ball. Hunter did well. Did really well to tie that footy up. There'll be a bounce.
Well, Mickey O'Loughlin, I don't know what's going through his head at the moment, but he's just lost focus. He's lost sight of what he should be doing when he gets the ball.
He's marking it brilliantly, just not disposing of it very well. It's West Coast by 3 points.
He's a man with the yips.
With 10 and a half minutes remaining in the grand final. That's right, the grand final, and it's 3 points the difference. Bolton
Got the
over
helmet
the line
on.
and out of bounds. He has to help that cut. And we've got a boundary throw in centre wing, southern stand side, neutral territory. West Coast by 3 points. An exciting finish to the 2005 season. Two interstate teams here at the G. Kerr went without it. Judd got it. He was tackled. Stripped to the ball. Crouch got a little gimme kick through a bit of traffic. Cousins handball to Staker. Off to Kerr. Kerr was injured early. He's played a significant role since though.
Oh no.
Kick is an absolute shocker along the ground. Goes towards Embley. Boundary line will beat all comers here. Half forward for the for the West Coast Eagles, I'm sorry. And it's 48-51 West Coast way.
Must collectively pray immediately now and try and locate the direction of Mecca and pray that it's not a draw.
Throw in. Cox to the back. Kerr couldn't take it. Good
smother.
Fletcher smother. Judd couldn't handle the footy, one of his rare occasions where the Dukes weren't clean. And there'll be another bounce.
He's going to push forward now, Judd.
80 out from West Coast goal.
8 goals is going to win it.
Paul Williams running with Chris Judd.
Well, that's a good matchup for West Coast because Judd's 6'3" and Paul Williams 5'10".
Here's the bounce of the ball. Cox got the left hand in there. Banfield couldn't hold it. Cousins picked it up. Left foot around the body. Embley in best position. Dempster with him. Kerr comes bursting through. Gets the snap on the way. Misses. Away to the right-hand side with a behind. And that makes the scoreboard read like this. 7-10-52 West Coast. Sydney 7-6-48. Triple M Bundy Rum scoreboard.
4 point margin, West Coast way. Kick back into play. Stolen by Staker. He plays on. Which way does he go? Handball to Hunter. Hunter was tackled, stripped to the ball. Oh, they made a blue of that to West Coast. Although Sydney did early. Dempster with a clearing kick into the middle of the ground. Cox ran onto the ball, right through the centre circle. Left foot kick to Kerr. Davis went hard, brought the spoil to ground. Cousins went bang. Kirk went bang. Ball comes to Banfield, shot at goal. Hit the post. Banfield shot has hit the post. And the scoreboard here now, a 5 point margin to the West Coast Eagles. Cousins and Kirk.
Oh, had to be a
Now
free
he's
kick.
got a free kick to Ben Cousins. Kirk's cleaned up his head with the hip and shoulder.
And the umpire said elbow, but the elbow hit the head.
Adam Goods
Had to be a free kick.
Kennelly.
Let it go in this situation, I reckon.
I agree with you,
Adam
Brian.
Goods hasn't
So
touched it this
Fosdyke.
quarter.
Out of side, the Stone Glinder's got to do some of his very best work out there and was unable to. This is the captain, Kirk, around the body with a high one. Barry Hall sits under it, is taken by Glass, and the cavalry arrives in the form of Cox. Got it to Fletcher. Fletcher again with a mistake.
That is
Jude Bolton picked it
wonderful
up
play.
and stuck it down the throat of Mickey O.
That is wonderful play by Bolton.
Davis is on.
It's gone to Davis with the long ball forward. Goods there as well. Bouncing footy inside the Swans forward 50. Goods sees it over the line. And a boundary throw in.
Mick O'Loughlin he's just got the spooks.
Bevan off, Kirk on.
Boundary throw and attacking 50 for Sydney.
Spooked, I mean.
Here at the MCG, a 5-point advantage for the West Coast Eagles. 8 1/4 minutes remaining. Boundary throw in. Sydney's goal. Ball wins it down. Running onto the ball was Matthews. Davis had a crack at it. Handball comes out. Sydney have got an opportunity here. Sydney players gone down behind the play. Kirk piles in. Bang, in they go. And we'll have a ball up 20 metres out from Sydney's punt road goal. They trail by 5 points with 8 minutes remaining in the game.
Just about as tight as you can experience a grand final. McLaren to bounce the ball. 20 out from the Swans goal. Ball got it, hooked it down in the Buchanan direction, and he kicks a goal.
They've done it again. They've done that again.
Fantastic. And the Swans strike back and lead it by a point. 8-6-54. West Coast 7-11-53. The goal came from Eamon Buchanan.
The ball has done it again. They have a definite plan there. Just drop it into the goal scoring area, into the corridor.
Gee,
The West Coast player
didn't want to tackle.
The West Coast player had to be goal side again, though.
But
Please.
they happened against Geelong.
Yeah, but you've got to learn from mistakes.
I know.
Under pressure,
Yeah, you
you
do.
just have to be between your opponent and the goals.
How long can you leave Chris Judd up forward for?
Not too much longer.
Ball back in the middle. What a game we have got. This is going right to the wire. Sydney by a point. 20-minute mark, final quarter. Sydney by a point here at the MCG. And on the time clock, we'll let you know how long to go. We've got 7.5 minutes remaining in the game. Out of the middle they go. Williams puts his hands on the ball, tried to get it out. And we'll have a ball up again in the middle of the MCG. Goldfink says, give it to me. Sydney, 8-6-54. West Coast, 7-11-53. What a game we've got here now. 2 goals apiece in this last quarter. And it's a point ball game favouring Sydney. In the middle, players scrap for the ball. Went and got it, Jude Bolton. Second crucial play. Here's Barry, leads out. Pushed off at by Glass. Glass immediately to set half forward. Cousins flies. Demps to the punch away was good. Offhand,
good
Selwood.
option.
Selwood sockets it on the ground. Got it inside 50 for the
That's
West
a good
Coast.
option
Kennelly
too.
did really well. The Irish skills coming to the fore there. Weren't they brilliant? Handball over the top to Sydney and they're away.
Oh, it gets back to Kennelly on the wing. Kennelly has a bounce. He's directing traffic. Now he goes with a low percentage ball, and Chicky Babe just sees it over. We'll have a boundary throw in.
O'Loughlin wanted it in the corridor and he wanted to go wide. I don't know
He
why.
didn't want to kick it to O'Loughlin.
So Johnny Walswell's got Judd and Cousins off the ball at the moment, so they must be absolutely spent not to be on the ball at this stage of the game.
Throw in inside the Swans forward 50. They lead it by a point. Seaby with the back of the fist. Goods in best position. Also Fosdyke. Around the body he goes. Sits it high on the head of the Swans forwards. No one can take it. Jude Bolton sees it over the line. Another boundary throw in inside the Swans punt road forward 50. They lead it by a point.
Both sides are spent because they play transition football. Back line, forward line, up and back.
We're into red time. 6.5 minutes remaining in the clock. Ball knocks
Another
it
great hit
down.
out.
Comes to Bolton. Jude Bolton, left foot snap. Missed.
That is another great hit out of the boundary. Just don't underestimate how good they're playing off boundary throw-ins.
Jude Bolton in the last 5 minutes has been brilliant. 8-7-55 Sydney. West Coast 7-11-53. 7 minutes remaining.
2-point lead for the Swans. Can they win their first flag in 72 years?
Take him on.
Weirpunda long to the outer side. 2-on-1 situation here. Goods the fist away from Staker. And the ball's over the line now. Judd back on the ball. You knew, Jace, that it couldn't be long until he got back in the thick of it.
Well, they just can't afford to leave him sitting up forward if the ball's not getting there.
Between wing and half forward for the Swans. 2-point leaders they are. One down. Buchanan's got it. Left foots it to Barry Hall or O'Keefe.
This would seal it.
Can I tell you something?
O'Keefe has got it 45 out directly in front.
What we said before the game, the 2 ruckmen for the Swans are just dismantling the West Coast.
Embley's coming off.
That came from a direct hit out off another boundary throw.
Not a great
down.
converter from long range. 3-11 from outside the 50, O'Keefe. What a big kick for this man and his football club. To the punt road end. From 55 out, he has started it way out to the left, and it's not going to come back enough. A behind and a 3-point lead now to Sydney 8-8 to West Coast 7-11.
At least it's pretty hard for it to be a draw now.
5 1/4 minutes remaining in the season.
Well, it is.
They've got to get some run from their kick out. They're holding it up like this every time and not. Oh no!
Kick in the play by Werpunda has gone out of bounds. No one touched it.
He kicked it straight over Daniel Chick's head.
It will be a Sydney direct kick at goal, and guess what? Paul Williams will take the kick from the boundary line within range.
We saw Luke Ablett do it at the other end that cost Sydney a goal. Will this cost West Coast a goal? David, we're a punter.
91,000 here, Brian. Imagine how many you'd get in if either of these sides could play football.
This to win the grand final for Sydney, I reckon, almost. From the boundary line, right on the pickets.
Got to have a shot.
He's only 30 metres out.
Got to.
He's a very, very good kick at goal, Paul Williams, to put Sydney further in front across the face of goal. It won't be a goal, but it'll be a behind.
It's not a bad score either, that.
And a minor score.
Well, every point counts for Sydney because they're now 4 in front. They get a couple more. It's just,
the Eagles want them to kick a few more points so they're a goal down, then come home and kick a goal, and you know what that means?
We're back next week.
It's a draw.
Sydney by 4 points with 5 minutes exactly remaining.
It's the only way they'll stay in it.
Where Punda will be a little Ian and Brucey Nankervis about the kick-in. He goes to Fletcher, and it was a 50-50 ball.
That's another bad kick. He had Cox on short all day, every day, on his own, and he refused to go to him.
And this is a win for Sydney. A boundary throw in this part of the ground is a huge win.
You're right, he was nervous, and so what he did to cope with that is he hung the ball up in the air a little more.
And it ended up being closed down by the Swans, who have it again inside their forward 50. Fosdyke, who's been very good,
they've tightened
gets
up the
run
Eagles.
off his legs. Jude Bolton keeps the footy in and kicks a goal.
No, missed.
Across the face, missed a lot.
Out in the full.
What was he on about? He's missed from 2 metres out.
Well, you know why? He had Chris Judd on his hammer.
Where Punda this time gets it to Cousins.
They gotta go.
And they can go now, Brian.
What about Jude Bolton's last quarter? Over the top to Nikoski. Takes possession on centre wing. Got a high tackle. Umpire said it was play on. Buchanan was the tackler. Now it's over the line, out of bounds. Boundary throw in. It is a 4-point ball game. Sydney's way at the moment. We're into red time, and we've got about 4 minutes left.
That was a great tackle from Buchanan because Nikoski was away.
Boundary throw in. Centre wing on the northern side. Jude Bolton, 5 possessions in the last 7 minutes. 3 of those attempts on goal. Cox, handball to Judd. The Norm Smith medalist, we think, here in the box. The kick goes forward. Goods is on the end of it. Tackled here by Selwood. Got rid of it to Matthews. Matthews with the left foot kick around the body. Into no man's land. Sydney's half-forward line. Werpunda trying to chase it down. Kept it in play. Werpunda did well. Werpunda kicks the ball to centre wing. In front. Couldn't mark the ball. Kerr. Oh, it was Green, in fact. Kerr's in there trying hard. And we're going to ball up on centre wing.
No, it sounds obvious, boys. Just consider this. The next goal wins the game.
Inside the last 5 minutes now. 26 and a half minutes gone.
Wins it.
Bounce, true members wing. That's ball with a big fist forward. Fletcher near the line, kept it in and edged it in the Kerr direction. At the back he controls the footy. Desperate stuff from Kirk. Well done by the Sydney player. Picked up by Williams. Handball back to Fosdyke. His left foot kick forward. It's in dispute on the wing. Again, Jude Bolton hard at it. This time though, the numbers with West Coast and Werpunda. At the back of the exchange, just hooks the high ball forward. Embley in best position. Got Jukes to it but couldn't mark. And Crouch picks it up.
Full of a boy.
And wrapped up. The captain Kirk's over the line.
I'll tell you what.
And a boundary throw in, 90 out from West Coast goal.
There are some tired boys out there. They've run themselves to a standstill.
The next goal from either side, doesn't matter who kicks it, wins.
2 minutes 50 on the unofficial clock. West Coast have to kick a goal to win. Sydney don't. Buchanan, ground level ball. Defensive 50. Handball to the boundary line, will need it. Davis kept it alive. No, he didn't. Over the line, out of bounds. Now it's at the West Coast Eagles in. They have to kick a goal to win the game. Sydney do not have to do that. And we've got a boundary throw in 60 metres around from the Eagles' goal mouth. Unofficial clock. 2 minutes 35 seconds.
The 30 players around the ball.
It is a 4-point margin in favour of Sydney. West Coast have got it on their forward line. Davis went and got it for Sydney. He was tackled by Kerr. And we'll have a ball up, or boundary throw in it will be. half forward for the West Coast Eagles at the city end.
It's good coaching from Paul Roos because the Eagles players, you need to have space in the stoppage. Yeah. It's one-on-one. Have a look at the Eagles forward line.
Feel for the umpires.
Here we go. Cox and ball. One down by the ladder.
Here we go.
But it comes to half forward. Emble's going to get it on the bounce. The trap was brilliant.
Give it to him.
Give it to him.
Hangs
That's when
onto
you
the
should have
footy,
given it to him.
Goes with a low ball. The kick was ordinary.
That is when you should have given the hand pass.
That's
He
it.
knows too, Embley.
That's the game.
That was hungry, that was hungry and selfish.
Is disgraceful.
Kirk has taken the mark. 40 out from the West Coast goal.
That's a no U-turn. Every team has that. Reward the runner.
Right
give it
now.
to him. He's facing the goals.
Oh, look at this. West Coast have got a man up. And they haven't.
1 minute 50 on the unofficial clock. I repeat, unofficial. 1 minute 50 remaining. It's Sydney by 4 points. And the ball goes over the line.
Oh, was that silly?
50.
Free kick, Sydney, and 50. Goods has got it.
Why would you do something like
All
that?
they'll do is ice the clock now. They've got a man up, the Eagles. Stupid play from Stoker.
It was now. Goods has got the ball.
He played for it, good.
Staker will be on the mark, 55 metres out from goal. I tell you what, if you're Goods here,
Unload.
Do you unload with a torp or do you keep possession?
Well, you wait until he tells you to play on, then you unload.
Kick it as long as you can and get a point.
I don't know,
He
Ron.
could drop punt from
Kick
there.
it back to Davis here.
I tell you what, he's 53 metres out.
Man up.
Go
Why
back
haven't
to
they
Davis.
manned up?
And they kick it back to Davis.
Goods can get the journey from here to win the grand final. He winds up. Big long ball to the punt road goal. It's got the distance. Offline minus score.
Now,
He
they
should
got
have kicked
possession.
5-point advantage for Sydney.
That's a mistake. They
No,
should
it
have kicked
is.
backwards and held possession.
They should have.
You've given the ball back to him.
And then when they get pressed, then drive it
We've gone
forward.
long.
1 minute 5 on the clock. Hunter has got to take this mark. It comes to the back. They need to possess the footy, West Coast. Crouch has Embley to beat. He gets wrapped up
Great
and taken
play,
over the
Crouch.
line. And a boundary throw in the result.
We see so many hand passes that mean nothing. The one you want them to give, he doesn't do, and it probably loses the Eagles the game.
One mistake and the game is going to cost you.
50 seconds left, we think. Boundary throw in. Work down by West Coast. No runners free. Kirk taken to ground. Buchanan slapped into the ground.
Well, what they have to do is they've got to roll the dice, West Coast. You've
Third
got to
man
just
up.
take off forward, hope that you win the hit. You've got to break up the pack.
They need a third man up at this
And they
stoppage
want to
and
bring
just belt it
all the
forward.
Swans guys just want to come down on the ball, have 36 around it.
The ball will be bounced on the Toyota logo. Centre wing, southern stand side. No clearance yet for either side. Footy on the deck. Judd picks it up, but he's wrapped up by 2 or 3.
They'll do this all day, Sydney.
And the bounce again.
All right, now here's the situation on our unofficial clock. We have got 26 seconds remaining. The ball is on southern stand centre wing, and Sydney lead it by 5 points. That's where it's at. Ball up, crucial here. Eagles need a free-flowing run at goal. Sydney have got the grand final in the bag if they can scrap it out.
They need a third man up here, Brian.
Sydney are going to win their first flag for 72 years. We've got 20 seconds on the unofficial clock remaining. Sydney can celebrate. We think it's about 15 seconds remaining
At least
here
it's
on the
got
clock.
exciting, Brian.
Ball up. Centre wing.
Oh!
Kerr gets it to Cousins.
Oh, we don't need a mark.
Cousins kicks inside 50. Embley's there. Couldn't get it off hands. Overrun it Green. Went and got the hard ball in there. The Swans. Embley. Handball out. Cousins knocked away. Embley another chance. It comes to Banfield.
Oh, no.
Banfield's kicked it
Look,
in. Hunter.
Oh,
It's Nakoski. No. Canelli rushes to behind.
That's it.
And they lead. Canelli has rushed to behind. And Sydney by 4 points. And on the clock, we believe there can only be seconds left.
Well, the ball's kicked in, and they control it now. They've won the game, the Swannies, unless they make an awful blue.
They need a man up, the Eagles.
Leo Barry. The siren can only be seconds away. Called to go. Left foots the ball long. Cox at the back. Takes the mark.
Hurry up.
He needs to
He's
get a
done
long
well.
ball in.
Oh, this
he
is it.
needs to get a long ball in. Judd at the back.
Oh,
Leo Barry with a premiership winning mark.
What a grab.
And there's the siren. The siren has sounded. The Sydney Swans have won their first flag in 72 years.
Yeah.
4-point win to the Swannies. Leo Barry with as good a mark as you'll see, and they've won it. The Swans have won it.
Look at the crowd. Paul Roos coming down, being mobbed. Players on the ground, lying on top of each other, hugging. West Coast slouched over their knees, and Paul Roos being escorted down now. What a win, the first in 72 years.
What a way for
Swans.
Jason Ball to go out, Brian. Last game oversaw the ruck division, and he retires with a grand final premiership medal for his last game.
John Worsfold onto the ground, the losing coach here. Sydney have won by 4 points.
An extraordinary game of footy. Not one out of the textbooks in a lot of ways, but just so tight and tense. And the last 2 quarters, just phenomenal.
Umpires leaving the ground did a fantastic job.
Great job. You've got to feel for West Coast.
Here's Paul Roos. He's down on the arena now. He's very controlled, as he always is. Shakes hands with John Worsfold. They embrace. Nothing about Paul Roos. It is very, very controlled. Look at the Sydney Swans players, and Benny Cousins getting pushed by a photographer there, and he's wanting the box on with him. How is that? What about that?
That's great. That is great for football in Sydney. It's great for the Swans. It's great for this bloke in front of us. He's a massive Swans supporter.
Yep.
It's just fantastic. It really is.
So Paul Roos, you've got to hand it to him, just walking over there, cool, calm, collected.
Sydney Swans gathering at the city end, and they are being mobbed. Now the Sydney coaching staff all coming over to get involved in the celebrations. West Coast in the middle, sitting on the ground. Paul Kelly out on the ground, embracing some of the Sydney Swans players. That's a great sign. Nick Davis wanting to celebrate by himself.
Paul Roos, just a fantastic arrangement. Quality man, and took over the job when it was leaked that he didn't have it, and stayed tough with the club and his players, and they've handed him, Spud, the ultimate reward.
Well, correct way, JB. He's a second choice, which is remarkable, really. And Worsfold also with the West Coast. And look, he's the mayor of Sydney for as long as he wants. Paul Roos, absolute champion fella. I think it's a great example, JB, that good guys sometimes come last. But here's a classic example of Paul Roos. They say you have to be tough, you have to be this, to be a senior coach.